All right, you have it ready?
Yeah. We're live.
All right. Well, before we get into everything regarding the finale, we do have a little something that we would like to share with the both of you. So, Ali, go ahead and pull it up.
The both of us?
Hey.
Which one of us is invisible?
Okay, look at screen share.
They didn't change that shit from last season.
No, they didn't at all.
Okay.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Here we are now. Everything's about to change. We face tomorrow as we say goodbye to yesterday. A chapter ending, but the story's only just begun. A page is turning for everyone. So I'm moving on, letting go, holding on to tomorrow. I've always got the memories, wanna find out who I'm gonna be. We might be apart, but I hope you always know you'll be with me wherever I go. Wherever I go. So excited, I can barely even catch my breath. We have each other to lean on for the road ahead. This happy ending is the start of all our dreams. And I know your heart is with me. So I'm moving on, letting go, holding on to tomorrow. I've always got the memories while I'm finding out who I'm gonna be. We might be apart, but I hope you always know you'll be with me wherever I go. It's time to show the world we've got something to say. As long as you say your love will never fade away. I know I'll miss you, but we'll meet again someday. We'll never fade away. So I'm moving on, letting go, holding on to tomorrow. I've always got the memories while I'm finding out who I'm gonna be. We might be apart, but I hope you always know you'll be with me. So I'm moving on, letting go, holding on to tomorrow. I've always got the memories while I'm finding out who I'm gonna be. We might be apart, but I hope you always know you'll be with me. Yeah, wherever I go. Wherever I go. All right.
And welcome everyone to the Applause Best of Both Worlds finale. Jacob, Aaliyah, and Sam, this is it. You guys have made as far as you can possibly go. And tonight's the night. You guys are going to go ahead and plead your cases for why you should win. Sam, as you did win the last challenge, you have decided to go first. So we will be starting with you. Once again, you guys are going to have 8 minutes. Each juror is going to come on, have 10 minutes to ask you guys whatever they want. And then you will have 8 minutes for your closing speech. Sam, whenever you're ready, since you decided to go first, you can start now. Ali, you have the timer ready?
Yeah, let me just get it.
Should Aaliyah and I turn our cameras off?
No, because we're going to spotlight Sam, so.
Oh, not Spotlight.
Well, we can pin you. We can pin all three of you, honestly. Okay. Sam, whenever you're ready, your 8 minutes. Go ahead, Ali.
Yeah, your timer starts whenever you're ready.
Okay, fab. First of all, Ali, that was a really lovely way to end the season. So thank you for that.
Okay,
it's
8
quite
minutes
emotional.
starts now.
Fab. Okay. So this game has been absolutely insane. It's been the most twist-heavy, advantage-heavy game I think I've ever played. For me personally, it was a game of two halves. There was a pre-merge, which was wildly different to my merge game. So the pre-merge, I started off on Rico's. I quickly got myself into a majority of 4 people. I worked with Lauren, Cody, and Cam, and I wanted to ride that out for as long as I possibly could. I also secured a firm connection with Casey, who I knew from before, but wasn't sure whether we'd be able to have a game connection this game. It turns out we could. So it turns out, so I knew that if we went to tribal, that I would have been fine. And then we ended up voting Zach out 6-1 with a majority vote. I was part of 3 majority votes this season. That was one of them. Then we had the final 20 swap. This is the only time where I felt remotely in danger at all during the whole pre-merge. It was because 3 of us has been taken from Rico's and put onto Malibu. I didn't know the connections there. I knew if they were as connected as I was on Rico, then I would have been in trouble. So I did my best with the social game. Unfortunately, we won. So didn't really need to worry too much there. Final 19, we had a one world twist, which was terrifying. So I went into overdrive with my social game. I spoke to everyone. I tried to get on calls with everyone multiple times if I could. I was trying to make sure the conversations were really, really good so that with a vote, which I thought might be a bit crazy, I wouldn't be one of the names getting thrown out there. There was 5 different people getting votes that round. Unfortunately, none of them were me. I also had a public vote, which made it even scarier. But the good thing about that was that I could be honest about who I voted for because it was clear for everyone to see. So nobody knew I was doing anything shady, which was great. Then we swapped back to Rico's. Immediately after we got into the tribe, Danny messaged me and said, "Oh, let's make an alliance with me, you, Cam, and Lauren." And I was like, "I've not spoken to you at all on that one world thing. What makes you think we could work together?" I didn't say that. That's what I thought. I was like, "Sure, fine." It turns out he hadn't spoken to Cam either. So then I was a bit iffy. I even mentioned in my project a few times, I don't trust Danny at all because if he's going to do this now, then how do I know he's not going to do that later on? And then Cam was uneasy too. So then that made it a concern. And then we ended up voting him out because we didn't trust him. If final 17, we swapped again, played code names, established a really strong relationship with Mike, Jesse, and Austin. And we formed a 4-person line, which I really wanted to take as far as possibly could, which was awesome. Then we had our second one world thing. I kept working on that social game, and again, I didn't receive votes. I didn't receive any votes the entirety of the pre-merge, which I thought was pretty impressive. I felt my social game was good. I felt I didn't ever feel any danger really apart from the final 20 round. And by the time the 4th round was in, I felt that whatever swap combination I was in, I would have been in the majority of the votes based on my connections. So I felt really, really good about that. Anyways, merge happened. My game took a drastic turn. My 2 closest allies, which were Cody and Cam, were voted out the first 2 rounds. I was blindsided by both, by people that I thought I could trust. I felt especially burned by Austin, by Josh, who I thought I had a really good, strong connection with, and by Caitlin. But then also Austin public voted me that round, which caused me to misplay my idol. The only reason Austin voted me was so I couldn't misplay my idol. And that was the only vote I received this entire game. But that was a tough one. So then we lost Cody. As soon as that round was over, Cam, Casey, and I formed this revenge chat. With all of our powers combined, we thought we could really do some damage. Turns out that didn't work either. I misplayed my second idol. Cam saved for that power the wrong person and got himself voted out or got voted out, which was gutting. At that point, I thought my game was over. So I thought, okay, I need to change how I'm going to do things from now on. I made sure to rebuild trust with Caitlin, with Josh, and with Austin in particular, but I also made sure I was working my social game and building trust with everyone else as well. I also studied those Hannah Montana videos hard. I knew that if I lost, I was more likely the next person to go. So I worked really hard on that, and I ended up getting 15 out of 16 correct in the questions. It had then been revealed by Austin that Casey had been leaking everything, which caused me to misplay at least my first idol, and had also leaked about my second idol and a few other bits and bobs, which made me do a U-turn on Casey and then therefore orchestrate a plan to get her out. Austin and I also made a final two at this point. I went to Josh as early as I could, and I really, really tried to make this work. I wanted Casey to be blindsided and voted out at that point. Unfortunately, Casey somehow got an inkling that something wasn't right and used her idol correctly, which was why Josh went, which was very annoying. And then final eight revealed to me how close Caitlin and Austin were, which was, and I was being told that everything I was saying to Caitlin was going back to Austin and vice versa, which I thought, okay, maybe my final two with Austin isn't a real thing either. So that was frustrating. So then Casey and I got in contact with Aaliyah and with Jacob, and we made a plan to get Caitlin out the next tribal. That tribal, I was saved without powered. I'm still not quite sure why I was chosen to be saved without powered, but I wasn't complaining, especially as I hadn't won the comp. I didn't think I needed to be saved that round at all because the plan was dead set in place. And then the following round, the natural choice after Caitlin was Austin, unfortunately, because of the fact Austin was playing the best game up to that point. If Austin had made the end, he would have won. And Austin had burned me multiple times and been like, okay, I won't do this again, and then did it again. So it was very much like I didn't think I could trust him anymore in this game. So then I won immunity. This is the only time I won immunity I don't think I needed to. And then we voted Austin out. Then final six, I was aware how close Casey and Mike still were, so we had to blindside Casey and take Mike out here. It was really difficult because I love Mike so much, but Mike is someone I wasn't getting anything from at all in the last few days before he got voted out, and it was just so it made more sense for my game. So Mike had to go. Obviously, I won immunity from then on, and I felt, to be honest, if I hadn't won immunity, my name would have been in contention, and I'd probably have received votes definitely from the final five. And then from the final five, I was blindsided, and Jesse was voted out, and I really didn't want Jesse to go yet. Jesse, I had so much fun reconnecting with you and actually forming a really decent relationship with you this round, this game. We had such meaningful conversations, and that's one thing I'm really grateful for. And then final four, Casey, this was the hardest decision I've ever had to make especially in such a long time in these games. I didn't want to vote you out, but it was voting you out would give me the better chance to win, in my opinion. So I needed to do what I needed to do. So yeah, that's how my game went in the trajectory there. I was safe the entirety of pre-merge, which I think is an impressive feat. Which I was safe the entirety of the merge, which I think was an impressive feat. I've never seen that happen in any org before. Even while I wasn't safe, though, I was constantly looking to better my position. I was communicating with people, making plans, changing things up, trying to get things done. There were 148 votes against me, and only one of them, 148 votes, and only one of them was for me. So I think my game speaks for itself. That's my timer. But I'm really happy with the game I played, and I hope you guys see that too.
Yes, your time is up. Thank you, Sam. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move on to Jacob.
Right.
Jacob, whenever you're ready, your 8 minutes starts now.
Whenever you're ready.
All right. So I came into this game thinking that I was going to be social during the pre-merge, but my perception immediately turned into me being inactive, bad at challenges, not good to keep on a tribe. No idea why, but that perception caused me to get 2 votes on my first tribal, and those perceptions continued with me the whole fucking pre-merge. They did not get off my back. Even my allies, I had Danny, Josh, Divi, 2 of them went out. So I really was in a terrible position. Pre-merge, I never knew what was happening. Every single round, people, the most they would tell me is, oh, I'm keeping you around. I'm keeping you around. That's not telling me anything in the game. That's just telling me that you're keeping me around. So when I would make relationships, I tried really, really hard in the pre-merge to make some sort of relationship. So if merge came, I would have something. Obviously, 2 of my allies went out. I still had Josh, but I wasn't really sure how close he was with me because he also was close to other people. And then I also made a relationship with Austin on one of the swap tribes that we were on. So going into merge, I was clueless. I had no idea what was happening. I had no idea who was with who, where the idols advantages were. So my confidence in making it here to this final tribal council at a 0, basically. And it didn't help. Then the very next day, I was told, "Hey, you're being said to be an easy merge boot." Fucking course I am. And I was annoyed, and my confidence went from a 0 to a negative fucking 5. And I was pissed. And that same night, Austin came to me. Luckily, we made that little friendship in our previous tribe, so he was willing to tell me that there was an alternate plan to get Cody out, which I was 100% down for, because I knew that Cody was one of the people saying my name. So that next day, pretty much everyone was saying that I was going home. Everyone was like, "You're the only name out there. I'm not voting for you, but you're the only name out there." Like, okay, then what the fuck's happening? So I was pretty confident that this plan was going to work, but also I was still scared that I was going to go home. This plan ultimately worked. And also during that day, I got called by multiple people and got told really important info: who was working with who knew each other before the game, who had certain advantages. People were telling me this info because they thought that I was a number for them, and if they got me to trust them, then I would vote with them. But they never thought I was a contender to win at the end, so they didn't care that they told me this info. But it was really important for me because it helped me navigate the rest of the merge. So when I knew it was time for Austin and Caitlin to go, I made sure that Casey knew that I knew that Austin was going back and forth and double crossing everybody. So that made her, in her mind, even if she did know, but she now knew that I knew, so she knew she could make a plan. So we made a plan, we got Caitlin and Austin out. And after that point, I knew that Aaliyah, Sam, and Casey all were interested in voting with me going forward. And so I took that info and I made sure that Aaliyah was with me, and we were a tight 2. We made sure that we took out Mike, which was Casey's ally, and then we took out Jesse, which was Sam's ally, which made Final Four pretty easy. As long as Casey didn't win, I knew that Sam really wanted Casey out, and I knew that Casey would go, making sure that I was in Final 3. So going back to live night. So in touchy subjects, I got majority in both doesn't deserve to be here and worst social game, even though I was in the majority of every single vote besides the round that Casey played her idol. And also, I did not receive a vote after the first merge tribal until the last merge tribal. So I used these perceptions to make sure that people saw me as a non-threatening person, but also wanted me to vote with them so that I could be included in votes, which made me have influence on every single vote and who went home. And I think my game is encapsulated by looking at the first merge tribal versus the last merge tribal. The first merge tribal I was targeted and voted for because I was an easy boot, someone that could get swiped out of the game and no one would care. In the last merge tribal, I was targeted and voted for by Casey because she thought that I was the biggest threat to win this game versus her. So I think that one extreme to the next, being easy vote to being a big threat, shows that I put so much work and effort and just energy into this merge to make sure that I made it here in a very impressive fashion. Thank you. That's it.
All right.
Okay, thank you, Jacob. So with that, we're going to move on to the last opening, and then we'll get to our jury here. Let's go to Aaliyah. Aaliyah, whenever you're ready,
Whenever you're
let us know.
ready, I'll start my timer.
All right, 8
All right.
minutes starts now.
Hello, jury members. Thank you all for being here this evening, and I look forward to hearing any questions you might have for me, as well as being able to just take the opportunity to delve deeper and explain the game that I played from my perspective for you all. So, when I saw the application to this game, Hannah Montana and a concert, 2 things that I loved. So I knew this game was for me. I immediately applied. And, coming into this game, I had only played a couple of orgs, but in my short time on those other orgs, I was able to develop awareness and the strengths and weaknesses that I had and why I was voted out in those other games. So utilizing my strengths and weaknesses from my other games, and hopefully I was able to come into this game with a different kind of strategy, whether it was improving my social strategy. So, I'm a talker and I'm a pretty outgoing person inside and outside of the game. So I was always willing to have a phone call conversation with people throughout the pre-merge portion, and definitely that was able to help me because, granted, I only went to 2 tribals that were non-one world. I was never the target, and I was able to build personal connections with people while we swapped together so many times by using the fact that we had good personal connections and our things that we shared similarities on. So I was able to not be targeted, and I will own up to one of the votes in the one world, in the first one world. everybody apparently went to the Christmas socks that day. I also did go to the Christmas socks, but instead of taking the public vote, I opted for the self vote because I think that that allowed me to just, stay behind the scenes a little bit and see if anybody came up to me and say like, oh, Aaliyah, who voted for you and why would you get voted for? So I was kind of able to just see where people lied in that one world. I mean, even though it was super early on. But anyways, so although trying to build my social game, I tried to also build my challenge gameplay. So I wanted to be the best I could be at challenges. And that was also helpful because I felt like with us swapping so many times in the pre-merge that I was able to do great in the challenges or as best as I could. And people would not want to target me because they would always see that I would be, setting myself up or always be the one that would say that I will do the code names or I'll do the music video or I'll do XYZ to just be better at the challenges. And I mean, thankfully putting best forth that effort. Oh my God, I can't talk. Sorry, putting forth my best effort to swapping every round, people just kept me around because I was just going to help at the challenges. And I did build that social connection with people where they didn't want to target me. So my strategy, as some of you know, it's kind of just more so like go with the flow. I don't think strategic game is my best strong suit, but in my real life and in my gameplay, I am definitely someone that I'm an emotional person and I act on impulse. And so not attending a lot of those tribal councils allowed me to just like take a step back and breathe throughout like the pre-merge portion of the game. And it was a good thing because the tribals I did end up attending, like I had some of those stronger strategy-based allies that would be, tossing out the names and that I could just go along with and see where I fit better and where my game fit better moving forward. So I did also lose a couple of close allies. I lost Danny and I also lost Divi, but I came into this game knowing literally nobody. I viewed a couple people in lounges. I knew of a couple people, but I did not know any of these players and I had never had one conversation with them. So being able to just know Danny and Divi from prior games and utilizing that was able to help me until they both inevitably, unfortunately, got voted out. So for the majority of the rounds pre-merge, I was on Seaview, and as you all know, I was very close with Josh, and we were actively comparing notes and idol hunting in hope of finding something together that we could use later down the line. So at Seaview, I got the hidden immunity idol. I found that in the olive oil, and I told Josh, in order to gain his trust, that, hey, I have the idol. If we need it, we could use it. It's our idol. And I, as you know, stuck to my word, but I was also able to snag the backstage pass advantage, which would allow me to bounce from around that I did not feel safe in. So before going into the merge, I was able to find other allies like Caitlin and Mike and Austin, who they all wanted to clip me at one point, but that's beyond the fact. So I was able to find those allies that, that although like Caitlin and I, we did the egg and spoon challenge for like 5 hours. Just her dealing with me for 5 hours alone was so great. And I had a great personal connection with Moink. We had a love for the Disney Channel and our love for music that we shared. And Austin and I, like, we were always on the same like game level and somewhat like on the same page. So after merging and winning those like first 2 immunity challenges, I was obviously like on the radar. I was undefeated in immunity challenges and I was being pit together with Josh. And I was on Seaview for so long, so people probably thought that my extended stay allowed me to have the hidden immunity idol. So in the tribal, like in Cam's tribal when he was voted out, there were a lot of moving parts into Cam getting voted out. But I do think in me giving Josh the idol and ensuring that he played it that round allowed other idols to be flushed. And that's why Cam was the target, because we did not want to put our votes on somebody else that had another idol. So that was definitely something that myself and my allies will talk about later. But after coming back from exile, Josh getting voted out set my game up better because he was not here. We were not being put together as a duo. And I was able to have opportunities, although I was clearly at the bottom of the game. I was clearly at the bottom. I was going to get voted out. So my only remaining allies, Caitlin and Austin, were like clearly going to flip on me. And I was able to infiltrate myself with people that I did not necessarily trust earlier in the merge. Although, because it was either that or I was going to be on the jury. So I was either taking a risk and working with people like Casey, Sam, to vote out Caitlin and Austin, or I just was going to get voted out. So final 8, I survived my first split 3-2 vote, which period. And that was for my allies that, you know, I was looking out for them and they were not necessarily looking out for me, and they were going to vote me out. And then I was able to afterwards make myself not be the target until final 5. So although there were still some advantages, I took that step back at final 6 after Austin and Caitlin were voted out, and I was able to just kind of go with the flow, pick which best option, whether it was in voting out Jesse or voting out Mike. And we were able to vote out Mike. And although I did strong arm Casey and Mike, and you know, after I could have been the target from exile, you know, I was ensured that I did get to the final 4 by surviving that other 3-2 blind side that I got at final 5. But despite being the intended target upon returning from exile, I was able to just infiltrate myself better and get myself to the final. And you know, I did make some risky moves by giving my idol to one of my allies and by working with people that I necessarily was not planning to work with, but I did get myself here, and I am so excited to hear any questions from the jury, and thank you all.
Okay, thank you, Aaliyah. Well, final 3. It is time. It is time to have a reunion with your previous VIPs. They're now part of Hannah's stage crew. Let's welcome in our first person who has decided to go. If we can move them here. Where is?
Here, let's see. I'll tag them in their pod chat.
Okay, give me 1 second. They will be here shortly.
You both were amazing, by the way. I adore you both.
Both you did great. That was awesome.
Period.
I'm excited.
I need to smoke.
I love you go off camera to smoke.
Because it's being streamed.
Fair,
Oh,
I don't
fair.
want the viewers to look at me
The
bad.
first juror is one of the first jurors is coming.
Yes. Oh, okay. Our first juror accidentally left, so they will be here soon. They pressed leave instead of move. So, don't you love when that happens?
Good job. In the meantime, how's everyone doing?
Okay. It's nice to be out of bed.
Also, how are you guys feeling?
Who
Delicious.
knows?
They're delicious, Jacob.
I said so, like shit, not delicious.
If we said delicious, I was like, that's
No,
all
I'm
weird.
not feeling delicious at all.
No.
I'm surprised I
It's
could
fine.
talk. I could not have talked that whole 8 minutes. My whole throat was like dying the whole time. I was like, I need to stop.
I thought it was 10.
All right. Our first juror is here. Welcome, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Thank God I'm first. Give me a second to set back up here.
All right. Whenever you're ready, your 10 minutes will start.
Yeah, we have a jury breakout room for y'all, and I accidentally left the meeting. Stop. Sorry, audience. Sorry, I made a mistake here. I clicked the wrong button. Setting back up. Alrighty. Okay.
All right. Mike, whenever you're ready, your 10 minutes starts now.
Yes, Mike.
Hi, guys. So those are some really great speeches. I gotta say, I'm impressed. I had a question, but it kind of got answered already. So I think we're gonna play a little game of not code names, but I want all 3 of you to close your eyes.
Oh no. Okay.
Some of you might know the drill already. Just give me 1 second. I just need to get this heavy ass thing off of me.
Then when I close my eyes, I always feel I've got to cover my eyes as well. I'm like,
So some of you might know the drill here. If not, I'm going to name off every single juror. I want you all to raise your hand if you think you have their vote tonight. We're going to go in order. So first off, raise your hand if you think you have Cody's vote.
Sorry, was that Cody?
Cody, correct. Okay. Raise your hand if you think you have Cam's vote. Okay. Raise your hand if you think you have Josh's vote. All right. Raise your hand if you think you have Caitlin's vote. Interesting. Now raise your hand if you think you have Austin's vote. Next up is me. So raise your hand if you think you have my vote. All right. Sorry, my phone closed on me. Now next up, raise your hand if you think you have Jesse's vote. And lastly, raise your hand if you think you have Casey's vote. Interesting. Not quite done yet. I think I want to play a little game of my hats here. So I got my own little Hannah Montana reveal for you.
Can we open our eyes?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Got my own
You're
little
like,
Hannah Montana reveal here.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God. Legend.
See, how much time do I have left, Prod?
You have
much time
6
do I have
minutes and 6:56.
Awesome. Turn the camera off and back on. Hat. No, I messed up. Fuck it. I just want to know what everyone's favorite Mike moment was, really quickly. We're gonna bullshit this entire 6 minutes. Like,
well, you know mine.
What is a moment in this game where you guys are like, "Oh, I love Mike. I want my ego stroked a little bit." I feel like you guys didn't touch base enough on me.
It was Crab Door for sure. During the code names of practice for me, it was. It was one of the highlights of the game for me. I don't think I've laughed so much in such a long time, and how that made obviously our alliance, and then how that progression there was just awesome. Didn't quite end up the way I wanted it to, but that was an amazing starting point. It made me laugh so much. So that's definitely a bit to maybe just remember how much I do love you.
All right. So before we get to this next person, I just want to show our lovely host here somebody who can actually sing. Aaliyah, can you sing how genuine our connection was for me?
Mike, you know I loved you, and I was so down to work with you, and you didn't take it seriously, and nobody took the fact that I wanted to work with anybody seriously, but I really fucking loved you, Mike, and our love for the Jonas Brothers, and your love for music, and you sharing all of your videos of you playing guitar, and when I was hyping you up that we were going to make it to March, and then you wanted to vote me out.
All right. No, but in all seriousness, I do have my question was how genuine was our connection? Especially Sam. Sam, I felt very hurt by the fact that you were telling me to relax. You're not going anywhere, this and that. And then I went somewhere. Didn't I?
You did.
What happened?
Yeah. Our connection was completely genuine. As soon as Cam and Cody had gone, I wanted us four to get to the end. I even said before the Caitlin round, we pretty much can do this now to the end.
Yeah.
And then I was finding out that Austin wasn't being completely loyal to the group and was leaking everything that I was saying. I was finding out that you and Casey later on were in cahoots and as well. And then it made me realize that maybe we weren't as close as I want us to be in this game. And I was telling you to relax because didn't want you to go into overdrive and to go around and switch things up, because I needed at final set, I needed you gone because I wanted Casey to get to the end. I wanted Casey to get as far as she could with me.
Stop right there. You begged me all morning on that day off not to microphone Casey so you could get her out at 8.
Then things changed.
What's up with that?
Then
good?
Casey,
Miley, what's good?
Yeah. Then
you let her go all the way to Final Four anyway.
Miley, what's good?
I love that.
Miley, what's good?
That night, Casey came and apologized for believing a lot of things that she'd been told about me, which apparently was Cody's doing. And she basically just said, I made all the mistakes. I'm really sorry. Can we rectify this? Then that's where my mind pivoted. So yeah, I did. At that point, I wanted Casey out. And then as soon as Katie and I spoke, my mindset changed. But yeah, that's pretty much it. But no, I was completely genuine. I wanted us to get to the end as a 4. But then it turned out everyone had different things behind the scenes, which meant that couldn't happen, even though I was completely in for the 4.
Honestly, I love Casey to death, but if you and Jesse had come to me and told me to vote Casey, I would have done it. I knew I was in danger. I knew I was probably going to go, but it's all good. You're there. I'm here. I think I'm running out of time, so I do need a minute to process my little final thoughts here. So this is where I would tell y'all to explain your game in a Taylor Swift song, but we're not going to do that in my monologue here. We're not going to talk about that in my monologue. But I am voting for the person you could have, should have, and I would have voted out at any point in time when we could. So y'all stay safe out there, and congratulations, Final Navigate. I'm done. I think I quoted that out of order. Also, I accidentally left the Zoom meeting, so I can't go back to the breakout room yet.
Oh, I can put you back there.
Oh, it's you should have, could have, and I would have voted for this out.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Mike. We're going to go ahead and move on to our next juror who's on the way, I believe.
Yes.
If we can hopefully move him. Oh, there he is. All right, let's go.
Right.
It's Cam.
Get on camera for this.
Your
Hi.
Whenever you're ready.
Your 10 minutes starts when you're ready.
All right. I'm never ready. I don't know how to top that performance by Mike. So I'm just going to start off by saying congratulations for making it all the way to the final 3, something that 21 people tried to do and only 3 of you managed to do. So that is a huge congratulations. However, anybody that knows me and how I do my jury questioning, I usually ask the harder questions that you probably won't want to answer or want to hear. And please don't take them personally, though, because I do love all 3 of you. So I'll start with Aaliyah. So during the tribal council I left, your words to me were, thank you for being cagey. So my question to you is, why were you so cagey with everybody else, including me?
I didn't necessarily think I was cagey, but I think that my strategy in the game was kind of to go with the flow. And I felt that those first 2 immunity rounds, I had won immunity those first 2 merge rounds, and there was already an added target on my back from the fact that I had won and I was being a duo with Josh. So I really didn't just want to go and worsen my game. So that's why I kind of just kept my mouth shut at specific moments. But I did want to say, Cam, I was very emotional that round, and I had known that I was going to get taken away. So I apologize for the way I treated you at Tribal Council. I am not expecting much from you this evening, but I did want to say that because I did think about it during my time in exile. So.
All right, thank you. And my next question is to Jacob. So you did mention that your name was out there a lot and how you were always in on the numbers. However, my question is there anything that you feel that you did on your own like making any moves on your own without like the influence of other people?
I don't feel like any of the votes that I was included on ever felt like someone was like influencing me or like pushing me to do something. Like every single vote, I was like fully ready to do it. And I felt that a lot of the votes, I couldn't have the main like pushing narrative because no one really took me seriously because that perception was still there. Like even though I was in more votes and in more things, that perception was still there. So if I were to push and like shove myself into situations, then people would be like, wait, I thought that person was like floating. Why are they doing this? So I needed to make sure that my influence was under the water instead of over the water, because if it was over the water, people would stop perceiving me the way that I wanted them to.
All right, thank you. And Sam. Hey, buddy.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. So, like, my question to you is mostly about like your immunity wins. Like, you definitely were a beast in the immunity challenges. However, I want to know, do you think you would be here right now if it weren't for all those immunity wins?
Definitely
And
not.
please be honest.
Definitely not 100%. I think there was a very, very good chance I would have gone after you if I hadn't won that immunity. That's why I spent so many hours watching those damn videos. I'm not sure if you saw the list. They were an exhaustive list, and some of them were like 4 or 5 minutes long. It was ridiculous. And just memorize the notes over and over again. I do think if I hadn't won that, I would have more likely have gone that round. I think when it came to the Austin vote out, I didn't need to win that one. I just like music, so I won that one. And I do think 6, there was a good chance I would have gone, but from 5 and 4 onwards, I would have said I would have definitely been voted out if I had lost the immunity challenge. So it was very much a win out or go home. And it surprised me more than anything because anyone who's played a game with me before, they know challenges are not my thing. I've won one immunity challenge in the history of my Survivor games ever, which I think's mad. But no, short answer, no, I wouldn't be here at all if it wasn't for the immunity wins.
All right, perfect. Thank you for your honest answers. Now, time for a little bit of fun. You know that question that Kevin and Ali usually ask at the end of the questionings. If you were to describe your game in a Hannah Montana episode, what would it be? And any of you could start.
I'm going to say the first episode of Hannah Montana where Lily realizes that Miley is Hannah and they're arguing, but then they realize that they love each other again and they are friends. So I think that's what I think. And ketchup is a good moisturizer.
Okay. I'll probably go, and it's about there. I'm torn between 2 Hannahs because I feel that my game was definitely the best of both worlds. It was by pre-merge. I felt I played a really solid pre-merge, but I was never in danger. And then I felt I was constantly in danger if I wasn't safe in the merge. So that's where that would come from.
I remember there was like one Hannah Montana episode that I watched as a kid that I like vividly remember. Hannah like was like in this design like era, and like this designer was like, "You're boring. You need a new look." And so the designer gave Hannah a new look, but then Hannah was like, "Bitch, I don't like this look." And honestly, I feel like that describes me a lot. So.
All right, and once again, congratulations on making it to the end. And now it is time for me to use a safety without power properly and leave the conversation. And good luck.
All right.
Yes, all right. Well, thank you, Cam. All right. So the next juror we're going to go to is not here, but she did send us a video in advance. So we have a video here from Caitlin, who is currently at work. Ali, if you have it ready, we can pull it up.
Okay, can you see it? Can you see it?
Okay. Let's go ahead and play her question.
I want to start off by saying congratulations to you 3. My first question goes to all 3 of you. Why do you think you deserve to be crowned the winner? And my next question goes to Sam. What key moment in the game do you think got you to make it to the end? My next question is for Aaliyah. Why do you think you deserve to win over Sam and Jacob? And final question goes to Jacob. Do you think your overall strategy makes you deserving to win over Sam and Aaliyah?
All right. Well, whenever you guys ready.
Questions.
Whoever wants to go first.
Okay, I go first. So I think I deserve to win this game because I think I was versatile in the fact that I had a decent enough social game to not be targeted at all pre-merge. And then I also think that like when I was on the bottom after coming back from exile and my closest ally at the moment had gotten voted out, I was able to use different opportunities and branch off when needed in order to save myself rather than getting to the jury. And I think that I also deserve to win this game because I had decent enough threat level management where I was winning those first 2 immunity challenges and might have had an idol and had a close ally with me. And I was able to kind of pick myself up and bring myself to final 5 after live night where I was not targeted until they tried to blindside Butterbeans me. But anyways, I think I deserve to win this game over Sam because I do think that although it's impressive that Sam maneuvered his way throughout the merge without being eligible to vote, I think that Sam had not the greatest read early merge because he did misplay 2 idols. And I think that that's part of the reason why I gave Josh the idol was because I figured that once Josh played it, Sam would play his idol that second round or the cam round. So I do think that he did not necessarily have the best read in the game. And I do also think that when Sam did try to make some big moves, they were unsuccessful. So he wasn't building his social strategy. He wasn't building his social game and he wasn't building his strategic game because people weren't necessarily working with him. So, and I also think I deserve to win over Jacob because I think although Jacob played a great game and they were under the radar and they were able to maneuver themselves throughout the merge, I think that my bonds with people were better. And I think that Jacob pissed off a lot of the jury. So that's why I think I deserve to win over those 2 and why I should win. But thank you.
I can go next. Can you remind me what her second question for me was, Kevin Ali?
Yeah. Do you remember, Ali?
Oh, hang on. Let me open it again.
My apologies. Sorry.
It's okay.
I want to start off by saying my first question goes to all 3 of you.
Is that one?
No, the second question.
You deserve. Next question
Oh,
goes to
this one.
Sam.
This one.
What key moment in the game do you think got you to make it to the end?
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Awesome. And the first one was, why do you think I should? The first one was, why should I win? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes. Why you think you deserve to win over the others, and then why do you think you? Yeah, and then the
yeah, that's fine. Thank you. No, I think I deserve to win because I have played the first half of the game, as I mentioned before. I felt I was in a really good position. I made great strategic moves, and the people I was voting out. I made great social connections with the majority of the cast. And I was never, ever in danger, despite having an idol since the second day. And I never, ever felt I needed to use it. I also went to a lot of the tribals pre-merge. I can't remember how many, but I went to a lot of the tribals pre-merge, and I never, ever felt that I was going to be in danger in any of those tribals. Then when merge happened, I literally had to fight from the bottom, I felt, because my 2 closest allies who I felt I could really trust were voted out at the start. Plus I misplayed 2 idols, which then put, in my opinion, a target on my back. So then I had to really fight, win immunities to get me to the end. Because if I hadn't have won immunities, if I hadn't got 1 immunities, I would have been out at probably 8. So I would say and winning out from 5 minutes onwards is a big reason why I'm here. I wouldn't be here if I hadn't won out. So yeah, that's why I think I should win. I feel I did make some strategic moves that worked. Casey and I planned the Caitlin and Austin vote together. I was the one who organized, let's go in a group and let's talk about it. And then we did it. I was the one who came to you, both you, Aaliyah and Jacob, about the Mike vote. So some of the things I did were unsuccessful, but some things were definitely successful. And I definitely just kept fighting, even though I was immune. I kept fighting to make sure that I was safe. And that I was safe if ever I did not win immunity for the most part.
Okay, so I think I deserve to win the game because I think that my complete switch from pre-merge to merge is like, I think really impressive. I think that going from being a target every single round to being a target really none of the rounds. And also I feel like I was able to keep the same perception that I had in pre-merge, but also do a lot more. I was in every single vote, making sure that my influence was there. My vote was getting done, like going to the right place at the right time. But I was still being perceived as someone that was not playing the game, which made people, like I said, come to me, tell me information, and overall just make sure that I was here tonight. And then second question, why do I think that my strategy deserves to win over Sam and Aaliyah? I think that the simple answer is just because we all three were able to socially and strategically maneuver this merge, obviously, since we're all three here. But I think that Sam, like he said, needed immunity wins, and Aaliyah, like she said, needed some of her advantages, and also Casey and myself did save her in the 8th round, and then I think that Sam and I saved her in Casey and I again saved her in the Jesse round. So I think that I was able to socially maneuver my way through the merge without immunity wins, without advantages, without idols, without anything. So I think that's more impressive than theirs.
Can I just piggyback off of that quickly? I know we still have time for Caitlin's vote, but I don't necessarily think that I was saved, but I do think that like the opportunity was brought to me where I could either, work with somebody that I did not necessarily work with throughout the merge, or I could get voted out. And I think that I had to, be in survival mode. So I don't necessarily think I was saved, but I think that I was able to also infiltrate myself with people that I was not working with also. So.
Okay, are those all her questions?
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, we have do we move on to the next juror who also was in here that sent a video? Let's go to King Josh.
All right. Okay. You guys can see that, hopefully.
Hello, Final Three. I just want to say congrats to all three of you. No matter what happens, all three of you got to the end. You guys are sitting there. The rest of us are not. So no matter what happens, you all deserve yourself a pat on the back. And no matter what happens, y'all deserved to make it to the end. And regardless who wins, it's going to be a good winner. So my questions for all three of you. Let me start with Sam. Sam, I felt like you definitely played a great social game. However, with your comp wins, yeah, you've won 5 immunities. And you found a couple idols, but you misplayed both of them, which kind of tainted your game a little bit. I do want to know, what exactly was your entire game plan in terms of, targeting people? Because, from my understanding, it kind of seemed like you were doing a little bit of strong arming a little bit. Yeah, it was a good tactic, but it was a little bit too much, and it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. So my question to you is, what you think you could have done differently to change the target off of somebody else?
Okay. I'll just pause it there.
Yeah, it's probably the best idea.
What does strong arming mean? Sorry.
Strong arming basically you were strong arming pretty much is you were trying to latch on to somebody for a vote and things like that.
Oh, got you. Sorry. That's right.
Used force or violence against is the definition.
Well, got you. Cool. Definitely not violence, but no. I appreciate that. No, yes, I did misplay 2 idols, but as what I found out later that they were common knowledge anyway. So I'm quite glad they were out of the way so that they weren't used against me later on. Yeah, I did win, and I did win lots of immunities, which kept me safe. I did most rounds. I had a plan. That the first round, Cody led the vote for Jacob. Second round was a vote for you, Josh, and obviously that didn't happen, and Cam went out. But then I tried to lead the vote for Casey, just trying to save you, Josh. And obviously that didn't work because Casey played her idol. But I tried to. I was the one who, once Austin spoke to me, I was like, we need to get this done. And I went around and got all the numbers, got the people who I knew I could trust to vote that way and not let Michael Casey know. And vice versa with the Caitlin and Austin votes. Casey and I were the ones who went to Aaliyah and Jacob, were like, this is what needs to happen. This is gonna, otherwise it's gonna be detrimental to our game later on down the line. So that's what we did. Again with the Mike vote, I knew at the start of the round that Mike needed to go. So I went to Aaliyah and Jacob and I said, this is what needs to happen because Casey and Mike are really, really close. They will take each other no matter what. It'll leave a much more fluid game if we do it this way. So I did have plans every single round. Sometimes they worked, sometimes they didn't. I did have a plan every single round. I didn't feel like strong-armed. My attention definitely wasn't to strong-arm people. But yeah, I never tried to force anyone or at all to try and do my own thing. I tried to persuade, use my social relationship with people to say, this is why it's better for both of our games. I never tried to strong arm and say, you must do this, or this is why you have to do this. So yes, that's my answer to that question. Sorry.
All right, let's continue the video.
Jacob, as you know, like ever since the Tanner vote, your name was out there and you had allies like myself and Devi and Danny. We all tried to get the vote off of you. And as well as Aaliyah, sometimes we all got the target off of you. But my question to you is, if you didn't have players like us in the game, do you feel like you would still be sitting there?
I don't think so, but I also think that's what Survivor is. I think that I made those social relationships in order for them to work out, and they worked out, and they chose to stick their neck out to save me. And also with them sticking their neck out, I was told later on that our alliance was pretty obvious to everyone, and that's why Danny and Divi both exited the game, besides Danny obviously tanking his own game. But so I think that not only did I have the social relationships with people that they stuck their necks out for me, but also come merge, they were the ones that were being targeted instead of me. So I feel like I kind of got benefited in two ways there. I got social relationships that saved me in pre-merge, and then social relationships that were shields for me in the merge.
All right.
Aaliyah, I just want to personally thank you, first of all, for giving me your idol. Like, that is one moment in the game that I would cherish for the rest of my life. Like, that is, honestly, I never thought that anyone would give me an idol like that in a game, but I've had that from one other person, but like, it's still an amazing feeling for you to do that. Like, I will always carry that to heart. But I will say throughout this entire game, I did not know where you stood with me or you stood with the rest of the people in the game. I felt like you have been I felt like you were trying to keep your cards so close to the vest. Like, it just made me feel very sketchy, and it made me second guess you numerous times throughout this game. So I genuinely want to know, who were your true number ones in this game? And also, and also a second side question, who is your favorite duo? You and me, you and Devi, you and Casey, you and Danny. Oh, and also you and Brian. Who were your favorite duos? And also, lastly, for you, Aaliyah, what is your favorite White Claw, and why is it not mangoes? Anyways, guys, no matter what, it's all jokes. My mind hasn't been made up yet, so no matter what happens, I wish you all the best of luck. Catch y'all later.
Okay.
So to answer Josh's questions, I knew that since like I said in my opening speech, I was on everybody's radars going into the merge and I had won those immunity challenges. So if I had a chance to prove myself and vote for Josh there, one, I would have one because, you know, like I did want to keep my idol, but like I also did like the entirety of the game after I found it. I like told Josh, you know, like if you're ever in danger, I will give it to you. You can play it. And he was in fact in danger. So I did give it to him. I just stuck to my word in that. But I would have voted Josh out or been okay with Josh going at any time, specifically because I knew that people were pitting us together and I had just won those challenges, which at that point, like I was like the top target. If they're not going to come after me, they're going to come after Josh. And just to prove the fact that I wanted to continue this game and I was not paired with him, I would have 100% voted him out. No offense, Josh, I love you, but I definitely would have. And I think my favorite duo was Lady and the Mango. So of course, Josh, we had, I think like I had different personal connections with a lot of people. I don't think like I was really that close with Danny or Brian, and Casey and I weren't so much a duo, but I do think that my number one ally at the time was Divvy, and then they got voted out, and then I kind of had to just, you know, keep my other allies closer. So Josh did become kind of my number one, but I would have voted him out to prove that I wanted to be in the game and to take the target off of my back. So, yep. Favorite White Claw besides mango? Watermelon. I have a watermelon here too. So, watermelon. Okay.
All right. So with that, those are all the videos. So we got those out of the way. Let's go back to people who are on the Zoom with our next juror, bringing in wherever she is.
I'll tap bumper project.
Yeah. Let me bring in Jessie whenever she joins.
Sure are. Okay, waits for her to join.
Oh, okay. She's busy at the moment, so I guess we're gonna go to Casey first.
All right.
What? Hello?
Oh, I think she was just coming back to the Zoom.
Yeah. Can I just go to a breakout room or something?
I'm sorry. I thought that's why you came here.
No, I just switched to my computer.
Oh no, you're fine.
Okay, Jessie needs a few minutes, but she'll be here shortly.
Okay.
I want a watermelon White Claw at some point. We don't get them here.
Also, Austin cannot be here, but in the meantime, he says, let the finalists all know I'm sorry I couldn't make the finale. I'm super busy with real life things, but you all played amazing and congrats on making the end.
Yes.
Be okay.
Yeah, he's fine.
And then Cody just couldn't make it because he's working.
Yeah, we weren't able to get a video from Cody.
So we're just waiting on the other just two? Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever Jessie's ready, we'll send her in.
My roommate who hates Christmas bought a Christmas tree today, and I'm kind of shook about it.
Okay.
Okay,
Casey, you're going.
I'll ask my questions.
All right.
All right. Well,
so I should, but whatever. I'll do it now.
Your 10 minutes starts whenever you're ready.
10 whole minutes with me. That's more than some of you guys gave me in a phone call in the last round. Honestly, I don't really have any questions. I just actually, sure. I have a question for Sam. Sam, why should I vote for you when you were brought up like a final two deal to me multiple times? And I never like really tried to commit. I was just like, sure, which is fine. But not even that. You would just be like, Casey, like, if I'm gonna lose this game, I want to lose this game to you, blah, blah, blah. But you didn't even have the girth to send me to fire. So why should I vote for you?
When we had the conversation about the final two, you did say 100% agree was your response, not fine. Just to clarify.
Okay, well then why didn't you send me to fire?
Because I thought you would win fire potentially, especially if you were against Jacob, who out of Jacob and Leah's proven herself better to be at comps, better at comps this season. So I thought you'd win against Jacob, and I knew that you coming to the end would lessen my chances to win. So that's why I didn't send you to fire. Okay.
Again, like, even if we didn't have a deal, the things that you were saying were like, you know what, if I'm going to win this game, like, I'm okay with losing, or if I'm going to lose this game, I'm okay with losing to you. Like, for you to be immune the entire time and to even like say things like that, I don't know, it's just weird. I don't think it's very like a really good strategy at all. I took it for what it was, but like now that I'm a juror, I'm like, that doesn't make sense for you to say those things and not give me the opportunity for fire. And it's really unfortunate because we're besties. So I hate that. I mean, Aaliyah, I don't really have a question for you. Our deal was broken, which I get. I'm not even like mad about it because like I would have written your name down too if someone would have given me the chance. So like that is what it is. I don't think that you ever took the extra step to make it more like what Sam did, which I appreciate. I don't have any questions for you because your game is just a little bit confusing for me. For you to say that you would have voted Josh out round 2, but then give him the idol, it is a little bit confusing. It doesn't really make sense.
Do you want me to explain it? Because I can't.
Sure.
If you
Sure.
Yeah, so I felt that like, although I knew I was going to give Josh the idol, it was kind of just out of like the fact that I literally preached the whole time that if he ever needed it, he would be in danger. And I knew that I was going to be using that vote for exile. Like I was going to use a backstage pass next round. So had I given him the idol, he would have flushed Sam's idol with it. And I still would have put a vote on him. But I think that maybe Austin might have taken credit for that vote had I actually been there, and it would have been like 4-4-2. So I'm kind of glad that I wasn't there, and the fact that like 1, I didn't have to prove to who I was going to vote for, and 2, I was able to exile myself and allow Josh to get voted out, which then I could just, I was still the target, but still like there were bigger targets, and then I was able to just kind of, branch off final 6, final 8. So I definitely would have voted him out, but I just told him the whole time that I would give it to him, and he needed it, so I did. But
which I definitely understand if you make an agreement to do that. It's just there is a certain point where it's like, why give like a life vest to someone who's already sunk their game, but it doesn't really help you out for maybe in the long term. Maybe it does for a vote here at the end, but maybe not in that like the grand scheme of things, the bigger picture, which is what I like to look at whenever I'm looking at an FTC. But that's my question for you. Thank you for answering it. Jacob, I think that I don't know why none of these people wanted to vote you out after pre-merge. Like, I think it's kind of crazy. I think that a lot of your strategy, from my perception, like your social strategy, was really subtle and something that you would just completely miss until you would go back and look at the way that you messaged people like before a tribal. Like after the tribal, I'd go back and look at our messages and be like, I can't be mad at Jacob. They told me what they were doing. They told me what I should do. I just want to know, like, can you explain that strategy or what you would do whenever it would be before a tribal? Would you tell people different things to kind of indicate what was going to happen without telling them what was going to happen?
So at merge, I feel like the Cam and Cody votes, I really couldn't because I was still kind of scared for myself. So I knew I couldn't leak a plan that like I wasn't necessarily the spearhead to. But I think with your first almost vote out, I honestly wasn't necessarily against Josh going out because he at that point was a good ally of mine, but also I had no clue who else he was working with, and it kind of scared me at points. So I knew if you used your idol, he would go home. If you didn't use your idol, you would go home. And either way, I was kind of okay with that. So I knew just telling you, oh, if you want to use your idol, you can. Either way, I would be fine with the result. And then I think the Caitlyn and Austin, again, I didn't really tell them because I felt like they were kind of leaking things throughout the day. So I was like, I don't know why I should tell them things if they're not really telling me things. But then I think the Mike and the Jesse vote, again, I was trying to keep that under wraps. So I didn't really tell anybody because I also felt like Mike and Jesse weren't really my biggest allies. So I didn't really feel like I necessarily was blindsiding them or like betraying them or like ruining our trust, because I didn't really feel like Mike and I talked a lot, and I didn't really feel like Jesse and I talked a lot. But then I knew at the Final Four, I really wanted to tell you, but Sam sort of asked me, hey, I wanna tell her on my own. Like, can you let that happen? And I wanted to respect that, since I knew that it was important for him to tell you. So I was kind of struggling to know when to tell you, and I was trying to break it to you sort of easily, but it was kind of hard.
I honestly think like just the fact that you gave me the chance to get on call and like try to pitch my case to you like really does wonders, instead of sending me like a 4-paragraph essay to read in the last 15 minutes of the game while I'm trying to fight to stay. I think that's way more of an effective strategy that you used at the Final Four. And I just can't understand why, if you make it to the end of the game, why you wouldn't get on call with somebody to tell them that you may want to vote them out. Like I'm a vote here. It doesn't make sense to me. You're the only person who did that.
Because I never really told you that I wasn't voting you.
Right. And I feel like that's just simple strategy. Like not even you, but like just in the grand scheme of things, like people may say that you were not as active at the beginning of the game, but once it got to the end, you're the only person who actually called me. Like I tried to get on call with Sam and Aaliyah for various reasons. They didn't want to get on call. Sam said that he wanted to break it to me, which I do think that's probably Sam just strong-arming you to doing what he wanted to happen, which whatever. But yeah, I just really respect the way that you've played this game, Jacob. Like I said, you haven't had any immunities. You've had votes against you pre-jury for sure, maybe 2 votes at jury or whatever. But I don't know. I just think that overall you've played a pretty flawless game. And yeah, that is where I'm at. Good luck to all 3 of you. You guys know that you're all great people, whatever. I'm a salty bitch because I didn't get any phone calls. And I'm mad, but you know, it is what it is. And hopefully in future games, you guys actually take the time to own what you're doing, like Jacob did in my round. And that's it.
All right. Thank you, Casey. With that said, we're going to go ahead and move on to our last juror if she is ready.
Yeah.
I'll let Jesse be fashionably late. It's fine.
Right.
I'm excited for the wig.
What?
Oh, there
I'm excited for the wig.
Oh, I thought you said I feel
It is
weak.
not
I'm
time
like,
for the wig. I'm very sorry, besties. No wigs
You're
today.
good.
All right. Your 10 minutes starts whenever you're ready.
Alrighty, I'm going to try and not make this 10 minutes because, yeah. So, anyways, congrats all of you on Final 3. This has been pretty lackluster for FTC. No shade to you guys, but that is what I have gotten so far. So, first off, we're going to be nice. I want you to say why each of your other final 2 members should win over yourself. And we're going to start with Aaliyah.
So I think Sam should win over myself because I definitely think that, although I said that he didn't deserve to win because he had the stretch of immunity, I think that that's like really impressive and that's like super cool that he could do that. And I also think that Sam did try to make big moves when he had to, and even though he was safe, you know, he was still always kind of in the know, and he was still trying to like make strategic moves throughout the merge, whether they were successful or not. I also think that Jacob is so deserving of the title because I think that they played this game, you know, like they were a target all throughout pre-merge, and then they came in and they were able to just infiltrate themselves where needed, and they were able to bounce back and forth and take out the big strategic players without like being the one with the blood on their hands. So I definitely think that Jacob should win and Sam should win over me.
Okay, Sam, you're next. Go.
Okay. Oh, okay. I think Jacob should win because I think Jacob played the ultimate under the radar game. I think the fact that their name was out round 1 and they're still here is incredible. I think they played an incredible under the radar game. I think Aaliyah should win because Aaliyah very much did go with the flow. Aaliyah did very much whenever she needed to switch up her strategies and switch up her allies and work with different people to get herself further. She did that. She chose the correct time to make the correct move, to vote the correct person out. And she flip-flopped a lot and it was purposeful. It was when it was needed. So I think that's why she deserves to win.
Okay, Jacob.
I think that Sam used his immunities really well. I think that he all the time wanted to make big boy moves and made the effort to make them, whether they were successful or not. Doesn't really matter. I think it's really impressive that he was able to just like, hey, we should do this. Like he knew what he wanted to do pretty much every round. And like I said, either it was successful or not, but still he knew what he wanted to do. I think that Aaliyah has a really impressive game of being able to have a really great social game throughout the whole pre-merge, never really a target. And then the merge, she started out having to survive every single round, whether that was taking herself out of the whole round or making sure that she had other allies that she could jump to so that they could vote with her and take other people out. And I think that if anyone was like surviving, it was Aaliyah.
Valid. So for the next question, Cam stole my question earlier. So this time we're asking for a Hannah Montana song to describe your game. And we're gonna start with Sam.
Sorry.
Sam, you're muted.
I just realized, sorry. Oh goodness, there's so many that could be looked up. I want to choose the perfect one, so I'm just Spotifying a second. Just because there's so many that could actually be suitable to, I could go really cheesy and say the best of both worlds, as I've mentioned before, but I'm not going to say that.
Aaliyah,
Yes.
if you can go ahead while we wait for Sam.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm saying gonna get this, and then in parentheses, ... W for win.
Jacob.
I think I'm going to go with Life's What You Make It because I think that I didn't accept what I was given in pre-merge and I made sure that I made my legacy in merge and didn't allow other people to make their perceptions reality.
Okay, I'd probably go then. I didn't want to take this from you, Jacob, but you've chosen something else. I would probably go the climb more because, especially in the merge portion of the game, I felt I was on the bottom and I was constantly scrabbling. I didn't know I was going to win all these immunities later on down the game. I was constantly scrambling to try and make sure that I was in the best position I could possibly be in. So I felt I was constantly climbing and constantly trying to get there. So I'd say the climb.
Alrighty. And because I want to be complimented, give me either A, something you learned from me this game, or a compliment. Jacob, you can go first.
I think that you were a person that you never left me unread. You did not answer me. And I really appreciated that because a lot of people, especially in the beginning of the game, where we were together for pretty much like most of the pre-merge and other people were ignoring me and not answering me, but you always took the time to answer me and to be a wonderful person and to be nice. And I really appreciated that in a time where I felt like I was alone and didn't have anybody there.
Sam?
I'm not going to go into detail because it's personal, but the conversation we had during the Cups challenge was really, really poignant and really meant a lot to me. And that's something obviously I learned about you. And that was probably one of the most important and personal conversations I've had in these games ever. And that really got me to see you at a completely different level, really got me to connect with you. This game in particular, I've played with you a couple of times before and we've never really been able to connect. This game has been completely different. I've connected with you on a far deeper level. I consider you a really, really good friend and I've really, really enjoyed this game much more because I've had you in it and I've had you to talk to in it. So.
Thank you. Aaliyah?
Jesse, although our games never really sunk up that much, I really enjoyed the couple conversations that we had, and you were always a joy to have on every time we played Jackbox and whatnot, and your wigs were always popping, girl. You were the moment. You were icon, star, legend. You know it. So I wish our
Alright.
games could have been sunk up, but they didn't, unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay, so you have to switch a place with yourself and Finale with a jury member. Who do you pick? And we can start with Aaliyah.
I would pick Casey. I think that she definitely deserved it. I think she was able to, maneuver her way in despite being a target and even using her idol early merge, and people were still trying to conspire against her. And I think that she played a great game and built the social connections that she had to get herself here. And I also felt horrible about voting her out at 4. So I definitely think she is deserving to sit in my spot.
Okay, Jacob.
I would also say Casey. I think that every single call I went on with her, I had to make sure that I had my mind made up before I went on call with her, because she can literally persuade anyone to do anything in this game, and it was really impressive how she's able to use her words. And I think in the final 4 round, if Sam wasn't gung-ho on getting Casey out, I think she probably could have convinced him to take me out if, like I said, if he wasn't gung-ho on getting me out. So I think that she was so close and survived this whole merge to come very close to it, but just short. And I think that sucks. And I think that she would deserve to be here over one of us if one of them was a jerk.
And I would say Austin, for a very similar reason to Casey. Both of them played exceptional games up to the point they were voted out. But Austin in particular, I think maneuvered the start of the merge so well. Nobody knew until Casey spilled the beans just how well Austin was playing. And I think if Austin had made it past that round, Austin had a great chance to win this game. So yeah, mine would have been Austin for sure.
Alrighty. And because we only have 2 minutes left, just give me a song recommendation.
Anti-Hero by Taylor Swift. I heard it for the first time today. It's amazing.
Yes, it is. Jacob.
Claustrophobic by Awful Tune. I love that song.
Aaliyah.
Looking for Somebody to Love by the 1975.
Alrighty. Thank you so much for your time, and make sure you show passion in your final closing speeches, because my mind is not made up, and I enjoy passion and people who really want the win. So good luck to the 3 of you. How do I go back to the breakout room? Oh,
we will send you back there. Okay. Thank you, Jesse. Well, final 3, you know what time it is. You guys did your opening speeches. It's time for your closing speeches. Sam, since you went first before, you're going to go last this time. So Aaliyah, you're up first.
So your 8 minutes start whenever you're ready.
Jury members, I am somebody that won 2 immunity challenges in this game, but I am not defined by my immunity challenge wins. I am defined by the way that I was able to make myself be utilized when I needed to be utilized in a way that allowed myself to be the target going into live night and not being the target. I also gave one of my close allies a hidden immunity idol. I could have used that at any time. It was very risky to do that. And coming into this game, I wanted to come in here and I wanted to win this game. I put my neck back, pussy and crack into it to do the challenges and to make sure I was able to build social connections with people. And I think that I hope I have your vote tonight, because I think that I would represent this season well, considering I, was working with my allies until they were not working with me. And then I did the things that were necessary for me and my allies at some point until, they stopped working with me or until they were inevitably voted out. And I think coming back from being exiled, I, was definitely one of the reasons Cam was voted out. I gave Josh the idol specifically for him to use it, even though I was not at that vote. I made sure he used it, which allowed other idols to be flushed, another safety without power. And then I used my backstage pass and I bounced for the next round. I was somebody that I might have been cagey, but that was something that, I went with the flow. It never came from Aaliyah, and well, sometimes it came from Aaliyah, I'm not gonna lie. But with being cagey, it allowed me to not say the wrong thing to the wrong person at the wrong time. And although I was people's targets, I was able to just better infiltrate myself coming back from the live night. And I think I deserve your vote tonight. I am somebody, at the end of the day, all 21 of us set out to do one thing, and that was meet Hannah Montana. And I think you should vote for me. And I 100% think I deserve to meet Hannah Montana, whether I had to, sneak my way into the meet and greet or not. I got here, and jury members, I hope you can find it in your heart to vote for me tonight, because I worked my ass off and I put my heart into this game, and I think I deserve to win, but I'm not sure. I was unpredictable at times. I'm not sure. I guess this closing speech is just a ramble, but yeah. So I have 6 minutes. I don't know what else to talk about here other than the fact that I think, okay, I have 5 minutes and 30 seconds, but I think you should vote for me, because I think I deserve to be your winner this evening. And I was flexible, and I was Sandra kind of sometimes, not really at all. I said I was gonna, anybody but me, and I tried to do that. Sometimes I survived 2 split 3-2 votes, blindsides by my allies. Didn't work. I was still able to get into the final 4 where nobody wanted to target me then, and just vote for me. I think you should just vote for me. Okay. All right. That's all. Thank you for playing this season. Thank you for Prod for having me. And yeah.
All right.
All right, Jacob, you're up.
8 minutes starts whenever.
Okay, so I think I came into this game thinking that I was going to have a better experience pre-merge, but I had a really angry and upset pre-merge. I was upset. I was livid that I was targeted every round. I literally thought that I was never going to make it to even merge, and I felt that I needed something, and I was never given that, never given the opportunity to do anything, never given the chance to do anything, and that was really irritating. I felt like no one wanted to give me the chance, and I felt like no one was interested in giving me the chance. And so I made sure that I was given the chance by myself, and I made sure that I integrated myself inside the merge tribe and made sure that I was able to socially maneuver myself without winning any immunities, because challenge after challenge, I suck at challenges. I can never fucking win them. So I knew that I could not rely on that, and I could not rely on advantages, because my ass was not idle hunting, because I didn't want a punishment. So it was a 180 flip. I was ready to just give up and be voted out in the pre-merge. I was like, why am I even still here? I'm going to be voted out at some fucking point. Why still fucking be here? This has no point. But I still pushed myself, and I still made it to merge. And then it all blossomed and all had a purpose. And I feel like I was the best of both worlds this whole season. I was really in a rut in pre-merge, and then I blossomed and merge. And I feel like that gave you the best of both worlds. But the best of both worlds, I survived and I thrived. And I feel like that should count for something, especially when I got the majority of votes in touchy subjects for don't deserve to be here. But guess what? I showed everyone that I deserve to fucking be here, because I am fucking here, and I did beat the fucking odds, and I did everything I could to get here, and I am here, and I think I deserve to win, and I'm going to cut it short because I don't want to win.
Okay, thank you, Jacob. With that, Sam, you're up.
First things first, just want to thank the host so much for this incredible but cracked game. It's been the most chaotic game I've ever had to play. Before I start my final speech, I just want to quickly address something to Casey, just because I didn't get a chance when you were speaking before. When I said to Jacob, I didn't want you to find out about the vote, I said I didn't want you to find out about me voting you. They could have said they were voting you whenever. It was more I wanted my vote to come from me, because you're a good friend. I felt you deserved that. I didn't get on call with you because of the fact that you are one of my really good friends. I've got a lot of love for you. And if I knew that if I had gotten cool with you, you would have almost definitely persuaded me to change my mind, because I know how much this means to you as well. And I would have completely changed my mind. I couldn't get on call with you because I knew it would have been the wrong decision for me, which is why I didn't do that, which is why I wrote everything down in the 4 paragraphs. Anyway, final speech. It's been the most incredibly crazy game, but I've loved every single minute of it. I went to 6 tribals pre-merge. I received 0 votes in every single one of those. I was in 3 unanimous votes in that time. Each of them, I was part of pushing for that certain name. There were some crazy chaotic votes. I still managed to keep my name out of people's mouths, which I thought was really, really impressive. I was immune the entirety of merge, which I understand that can be seen as not as a bad thing for my game, but it also meant that I could maneuver myself. And get myself to where I needed to be. I didn't know that was going to be immune for the last couple of rounds. So every single round, I was constantly working, constantly trying to push to try and get the name out there, or try and make the best move that would set me up in the best position. Because I knew I was on a losing battle. From as soon as I lost Cam, as soon as I lost Cody, I knew I was going to be the next one to go. So I needed to make sure that I was doing everything I could, so that when I did lose immunity, I would be in the best position possible to try and keep myself safe. So yeah, I won immunity when I needed to in the third round of merge. I then obviously I saved all that power, and then pretty much won out from there. I needed to win those things for the most part, otherwise I wouldn't be here now. I thought I played a really, really, really strong pre-merge. As I say, I received 0 votes there. I received 1 vote in the merge, and that was purely to flush my idol, which is the most ironic thing, because Austin was the one person I wanted to use my idol on when I thought he was in trouble on a different tribe. So the fact that he was the one that flushed my idol was really ironic, but hey ho, it's all fine. I felt that I was constantly forgiving, and when people were like, okay, I won't do this again. I promise I'll let you know what the vote is this time. And they didn't the next time. And then I believe I would constantly go back and give chance after chance after chance, because I knew that'd be better for my game. If I hadn't have done that, I would have been even more dead in the water than I was then if I'd lost immunity. So that's where my stance was. I did everything I could to try and get myself in the best position possible. I made moves. Some were successful, some were not, but I made moves. I flipped my allegiances as and when I needed to. I made sure that I was, as I say, in the best position I possibly could if and when I would lose immunity. There were 148 votes cast this entire season. Only 1 of them was for me, and that was purely to provoke an idle player, not to vote me out. So I think I've played a really impressive game, and I think I fully deserve to win. Thank you so much.
Okay, well, with that, thank you, Sam. Jury, you know what time it is. The decision is officially out of the 3 of you's hands. Jury, if you haven't voted yet, it is time to vote for the last time this season. We will come back when we have all the votes. We're also going to add the jury back here, close those breakout rooms. Let's get that jury back in here. And we will talk to you guys after we have the votes.
Yeah.
Love you too. You did amazing. I love you both.
You guys killed it. Good job.
Do all that with a sore ass throat. I cannot anymore. My fucking
see, my throat's not too bad. It's me that's the big head and the cough. You're back at work tomorrow, Jacob?
No, I can't go back for 5 days, so I'm not going.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I know you said you had 2 days off. Yeah, I spent the entirety of today yesterday in bed. This is the first time out since Saturday night. I'm trying to give myself a bit of energy, because I've not eaten anything since Saturday either. But fingers crossed we're okay for Christmas. Oh, Jazzy's serving in her picture.
It's just her season 1 cast photo.
Still a serve.
Yeah, you're right.
Jazzy.
Talk. Sorry, I'll shut up.
We're 4th place besties, I think. Aren't we, Jazzy? Yeah.
Julia was 4th, I think.
Yes.
Oh, maybe not.
I do want to say I did have 3 hats put aside, and I was going to change them in between questions, but if the first one fell off, so I abandoned it immediately.
Oh my!
That is the most Mike thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Never quiplash.
That is the most Mike to have ever mic'd.
Crab door.
That's the most Malibusy to ever Malibusy.
Sorry, Mike, how many hats?
3. Sorry, nobody Malibusied better than I did, okay? I had the whole
Oh, you
Malibussy
got me.
idol, and I popped everybody with that shit.
Sam, you got me. We gotta start tribal over.
Oh yeah, let's redo this shit. Let's go.
Some of you might need it. Oops.
Oops.
We're ready for Christmas.
What does
Yes.
everyone want for Christmas?
I want my platinum microphone back.
You
I want
actually
a
receive one of
restraining
those.
order.
Stop.
Not
Do
the
I have to-
restraining order.
Do I have to go
Nobody
back
has
off?
actual ones for like an Amazon list, anything like that for Christmas.
Oh,
Like,
I actually have an Amazon wish list. Yeah.
yeah,
It has
I'm getting like
same.
30
The
bottles
Amazon
of
wish
wine.
list.
I'm getting
Everybody
30
should have
bottles of
one.
wine.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna be in my alcoholic era after this game.
You always are, Cam.
Maybe, you know what? You're not wrong. And do I regret it? No.
I got my Christmas present and it happens in a month. And I think how many days?
That wasn't the only Christmas present you got, Mike.
Oh no, it wasn't. Let me I got voted out in one. That's right. Let me go find it.
I put a Keurig on my Christmas list. It's like a blue one, just because I wanted a different color.
As you should.
I wanted it to match my Pioneer Woman shit, which now I kind of hate, but it's fine.
What are we waiting on? Like,
For Ellie to write the votes.
I was about to say, it doesn't take this long to vote.
Has
Can we
everyone
talk-
voted?
Can we talk to each other / get on camera and stuff?
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah,
getting
Jerry, you
up-
want to come
I
on
don't
camera
want
for the
to.
reveal, all that stuff.
Hey.
Well, I don't want to.
Before we do get to the reveal, though, I just want to say I will get more into it at the reunion, but thank you for playing this season. This was easily the most cracked fucking season that we could have thought of. We came in here with a goal of making this season very experimental, something a lot different than last time, and you guys absolutely were the right cast for it. I can say that right now, and all of you should be very proud of yourselves with how you ended up playing this game. But with that said, we do have a winner to crown. So, Allie, I think we should go ahead and get to those votes.
I was about
Oh.
to show off my Christmas presents here. Do you mind?
Oh, should we go off
Hey.
camera during the votes? I feel like we should.
If you'd like to.
I think we should. I think we should.
Okay.
I'll go back to my group.
Okay. So obviously, this time you want to see your name.
Yes.
Okay. First vote. Aaliyah. Second vote. Sam. Third vote. Jacob. We have a tie. Next vote. Aaliyah. Next vote. Sam. Okay. That's 1 for Jacob, 2 for Aaliyah, 2 for Sam. All right. Aaliyah. Aaliyah. And the winner of Applause Best of Both Worlds, Aaliyah.
Congrats, Aaliyah.
Congrats.
Thank you all
Congrats.
so much for voting for me. Thank you.
Congrats.
Oh, really?
Congrats.
You won a vote of 5 to 2 to 1.
Yes.
Thank
Congratulations to Aaliyah. Very, very well deserved win from all, and also all very deserved win, I think, from all three of you. This was a really strong final three overall. But with that said, there's a little bit more that we need to get into. We're gonna go ahead, bring the pre-jury on.
Right, send this to the alumni chat.
They are around because we have a reunion to get into.
I think we had to be represented by, if not the biggest Hannah Montana super fan, but the second biggest Hannah Montana super fan.
Okay, can I tell you all a little secret that I didn't tell anybody in the game?
You've never seen
Like,
Hannah
when I
Montana.
tell you I love the Jonas Brothers, I've seen them like 30 times in concert. So I kind of like downplayed that. But like, oh, I like Disney Channel, but like, no, I'm like a huge Jonas Brothers fan.
Wait, no, I think we talked about that.
I think I could tell. I think I could tell by the amount of times you were talking about how you were jealous I went to a Jonas Brothers concert and then told me about your Jonas Brothers. You went to an actual Jonas Brothers concert?
I've been to 30, yeah. Yeah.
Excuse me?
They've been around long enough to go to 30.
So
I didn't even know they made 30.
Have they even done 30 concerts, or have we
Like-
just follow them around on one tour?
Wait, Sam, how many?
I've been to like 30. But yes, Sam, I followed them around. But thank you guys for voting for me. And I just want to say congratulations to Jacob and congratulations to Sam. Like, this was a crazy fucking game. And to make it here with you guys, amazing. And I'm so glad to have met all of you. So
We love
Thank
you.
We absolutely adore you, Aaliyah, and everybody in this cast. But with that said, we're going to go ahead and get into the awards. I don't know if the pre-jury is coming, but
we
we're
have
going to...
Henry's here.
Oh, Henry's here. Okay.
The most we've gotten out of 9. I don't want to do that. That's me.
Right. Well, let's get into the awards here. Yes, we do have the Best of Both Worlds awards, starting off with Hero of the Season. Now, I will be honest with you guys. This game was absolutely insane. There was a point in this game, I want to say like final 9, final 8, where Allie and I just said, you know what? They're kind of all villains. And I think that's still pretty much the case. I feel like you guys were all really cutthroat. I feel like you guys all played really hard in this game, but we did come to the conclusion that there were some heroes in the cast. So we're going to get into the nominations. We have, first off, Caitlin, we have Mike, and we have Jesse. But ultimately, we decided to give Hero of the Season to Mike. Mike, look, coming into this game, look, I will get into it right now. Coming into this game, as we know, you were somebody that it's publicly known did not apply to this game, and we did recruit you at the last second. And my God, I can tell you right now, you absolutely killed this game. You played a game, I think, where pre-merge, we were unsure how you were really going to do, but I think once you got to the merge, you got the information that you needed, and you definitely were a person that I think was very loyal to your people. You were never going to go against the people that you were working with. You did everything you possibly could to make sure they survived as well as yourself. And those are all qualities that I think embody a hero. And I think that's something that you should be very proud of. And so, yeah, you definitely are the hero of the season for that. I think especially the way that you talked about the people that you were working with just made us realize, yeah, Mike's a hero in this game, has a really big heart, as do all of you. But I think Mike in general very much embodies hero here. Allie, you have anything you want to say about this?
Oh yeah. Well, you literally just took all that out of my mouth. But yeah, I was just so proud of watching Mike play. He did so well and he killed it. You know, all the way to final 6 is just insane because like also just being a recruit like that and everything, and like I'm just so proud, honestly.
I'll take it.
So yeah, him being a hero is just honestly was the best outcome for him.
All right. Well, for every hero, let's get to the villains, of which I said there were a lot of contenders in this game. Yeah. Some people that are not here that I will definitely say were very big villains. I think Cody was a really big character in the merge. Every time he plays, I think Cody's going to be a villain of sorts. Josh was somebody else that definitely was a bit of a villain. But there are 3 spots here that we're going to get into. So we have nominations. Where are they? Oh, Austin. We have Casey, and we do have Sam. All three of you played some really strong villainous games. And can I just say, I've heard that throughout a lot of this game, the villain term kind of thrown out as a negative. You guys should be proud that you were able to play villainous games. I think it is harder to play a villainous game in Survivor because of how you have to be so upfront and cutthroat in that way. And you guys absolutely did it. And I think that's something that you should be very proud of. I think a villain is something that is definitely something that is just very entertaining to watch. And you guys definitely were. But ultimately, I mean, I think it's pretty clear. There is one clear villain of this entire season. I don't even think I need to get into
It better
it.
be Austin.
It's Austin.
Okay,
It's
thank
absolutely
you.
Austin.
Thank you.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm fucking saying.
Definitely
Okay.
Austin.
Right.
No, it's absolutely Austin. Look, I feel like it's pretty easy to come to this decision. Austin in this game, every single chaotic thing that happened within the merge was because of Austin, who was the person that was constantly running back to others and telling them about everyone's advantages. Why could nobody, why was nobody advantage secret in this game? Because of Austin. Why were there so many people who said, oh, I want this person out, and then that person knew immediately? Because Austin told them. Why were there people who constantly were supposed to go out and then didn't? Because Austin told them the target was on them. It was all Austin throughout this entire game, and we were just so impressed by the way Austin was able to play this game. We did not think he was going to get caught, but eventually Jacob relayed Casey in on that information. Casey got the information that she needed.
No, I caught him the night before with Aaliyah. Aaliyah knows.
Yes.
Yeah,
What happened there, and that's what definitely ended Austin's game. But
yeah, for real though, like we did not, like we came into the season not knowing he was going to play like this, but oh my god, he was very snaky. He played like everybody.
yes, Austin was just such a character in this game. I honestly couldn't believe how much he was able to get away with. And we thought that it was going to be such a strong game. He'd be able to get through the entire game that way, but ultimately that did not end up panning out, as we know. Yeah, Austin absolutely is our villain of the season. Made this season all kinds of cracks, and we very much love him for that. And Austin was also someone that I think was very unpredictable with the way he was going to play coming into this. Like, we really didn't know how Austin was going to be. And just seeing him in this game, I mean, he was just absolutely insane in terms of his villain status. So yeah, Austin definitely is villain of the season. All right. So next up here, we have the best move of the season. Now, I will say right off the bat, there were a lot of great moves within this game. I think all of you played really hard for sure. And there were a lot of possible contenders here that I think could have potentially, I think could have potentially gotten the win here. I think there were a lot of really great moves. Some of the ones we're going to mention here. Casey playing her idol at Final 9. We have Aaliyah choosing the self-vote over her public vote. This was a really good, strong move early on that I think caused a lot of paranoia in the pre-merge as to like who voted Aaliyah, but in reality, nobody voted Aaliyah. She voted herself because she chose that over the public vote. And I think that was definitely something that contributed to her getting the win that she did. And then also this one, none of you know about, a lot of you I don't think knew about, Victoria playing her torn between two Hannahs advantage. So yeah, as you guys know, there were 3 torn between two Hannahs in this game. Divvy was voted out, did not get to use theirs. Josh was the one who used his with the switching Brian and Caitlin, and then Victoria played hers on Aaliyah and Austin, which brought Austin closer to her. Her and Austin were a really strong duo, and could have really gotten far in this game if that was the case. I think definitely they could have been a really strong duo, and we thought that was a really strong move for her. But ultimately, we did decide the best move of the season is Casey playing her idol at Final 9. Now, there are a couple reasons why I think this one definitely deserves the best move. One, it was the only correct idol play of the season. That obviously is something that is very impressive, but also something that I think was really big is that this move really changed the game in a significant way. There was a very clear majority that I think if Casey doesn't play that idol here, kind of runs the rest of the game if that doesn't happen. I think if Casey didn't play her idol and Casey does go, I think there is a very clear majority in this game. There was a voting block of sorts that seemed like they were really going to run the rest of the game between Aaliyah, Jacob, Josh, Caitlin, and Austin, respectively. And I think that they absolutely would have ran the rest of the game if not. But Casey playing the idol made the game so much more fluid, and I think really contributed to why the end game was the end game that we did end up getting. So yeah, just a really strong move overall. And literally Casey, that entire round, we were just like, oh my God, is Casey going to play her idol? She has no idea. And then the fact that you just figured it out, nobody told you, and you just did it on your own volition was just so incredible to watch. So that alone for me is why this is the best move of the season.
Oh yeah, thank you so much. Sorry, Allie. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, yeah, it changed the game. And I was like watching this because I was at work. I was just like, oh my God, is she actually gonna play it? Because I was literally muted and everything. I'm like, oh my God. It was like intense to watch.
Yeah, I remember like not being like, okay, I'm probably not gonna go to tribal. Like I think I should be fine. I'm not gonna use my idol. But like 4 minutes before I got on the Zoom, I started messaging people because I hadn't had time to get on call. And then the tribal answers, I just tried to read people, so I played it. And yeah, but thank you.
All right. Well, that is the best move. We got to go ahead and move on to the worst move. I don't think this one needs any introduction. I think we all kind of know what the worst move of the season is going to be. I'm not going to speak on it too much because I don't want to upset the person that ended up getting it. But it is indeed Cam. Cam, it's Cam playing his safety without power on Aaliyah. Now, I want to make one thing clear. The move itself was not a terrible move. I think there was a way this could have been pulled off if Cam had been more clued in to what was going to happen that round. If Cam had used some of the other powers in the game to maybe make a move, I think this really could have worked. I think the problem was Cam saying in his prod chat that it's a bad move, saying that this definitely should not happen, and then still ending up doing it. And then, of course, leaving the game with it. It was just, it was so tragic to watch. The whole round, we're like, Cam, please do not do this. And then Cam did it, and we know what ended up happening. Safety without powers, not Cam's strong suit, but Cam, definitely we know that this, we know that you've gotten this before, but we say it out of love. It was just not the greatest move. And
oh my God, it's actually gonna come through.
I just wanted to prove my loyalty was the thing, because they were fucking strong arming me to do it.
You had
I'm using that word again.
But you had
I'm aware. I'm aware, Mike. I'm aware, Mike. I had my reasons for doing what I did, though.
Well, Cam does get worst move of the season. We do love Cam, though. All right, now let's Alliance of the season. This is a very interesting category to talk about because obviously, given the twist of this game, given, moving tribes constantly, alliances were not really a big consistency within this game. For a while, I said to Allie, I don't think we can even pick an alliance of the season because the majority of
it was a lot of voting blocks.
Yeah, the majority of the groups in this game that were working together were simply just voting blocks, or they were alliances that seemed pretty strong and then they were disbanded because people were voted out in a tribe that they weren't on. So yeah, a lot of this game was just very fluid in that way. But ultimately, we did decide to give Alliance of the Season to an alliance that we thought was pretty strong. It might not have been as strong as maybe they hoped, but I think they absolutely were probably the most solid alliance in the game.
Yeah, because even if someone was voted out like early, it was like a really consistent chat.
And that goes to best of both tribes. Yeah, Cam, Cody, Lauren, and Sam. This was formed pretty early on in the game. The reason why this ends up getting Alliance of the Season is because it's really the only Alliance of the Season that, up to a point where all these people were voted out, still continued to be used. Lauren was voted out pretty early, but Cam, Cody, and Sam stuck very closely together. If Cam and Cody had stuck around, I have no doubt this could have been a really dominant alliance. I think that these three really were never going to turn on each other. And I think that's something that definitely could have really changed the game if best of both tribes had prevailed. And I think, again, just the loyalty of that alliance, but also just seeing how much they all were looking out for each other, which you can't say about a lot of other alliances, which were leaked to other people.
Didn't Cody vote Lauren out, though?
Cody did. Yeah, Cody did end up. Cody did end up voting Lauren out, but the rest of that alliance really did end up sticking together. So best of both tribes does get Alliance of the Season. Like I said, really hard to pick one just because like how fluid this game was. But yeah, ultimately that's the one we decided to give it to. Let's move on to best duo. So here's the thing. Unlike Alliance of the Season, there were a lot of contenders here, a lot of strong duos in this game. I think some of which got very far. One of the ones that didn't make this that we thought was a really strong duo, Aaliyah and Jacob, towards the end of the game, really became a very strong duo. I think that the two of them were definitely in contention here. I've mentioned it before, Austin and Victoria could have been a really powerful duo. I think had Victoria not gone where she did, I think they very well could have controlled the game in that way. But we do have some nominees here, so we're going to get into them. First of all, we have Sam and Cam, who we talked about before, were a really strong duo throughout the game. We have Mike and Casey, and we have Austin and Caitlin. But ultimately, we decided the duo of the season has to be Mike and Casey. So let's talk about this duo, because if you had told me in the beginning of this game that two of the closest people of the season would be Mike and Casey, I would have been shocked. I straight up would not have believed that these two would have worked together given their history in the game. But I think this is the perfect example of just two people finding each other at the exact right time, getting the information they need and realizing, oh my God, they want to put us together. Let's just fucking work together. And that's exactly what they ended up doing. I think that, you know, there was a point in this game where I think these two absolutely needed each other. And I think the closer they got in the game, the stronger both of their games really did become. And for me, I think they definitely are the duo of the season because of that. Very unexpected duo, but a very fun one to watch throughout the merge. I loved seeing these two link up and just the way that whole storyline panned out with Mike being framed for knowing about Casey's idol, Casey going to him, Mike being like, I never even knew this existed. And then from there, the two of them pretty much feeling like they have to work together. And
hold up, wait a minute. Wait. Casey had an idol?
I know. It's so shocking.
Right?
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but yes, Casey very much did have an idol. But yeah, ultimately,
who's that bad news for?
Yeah, I love playing into that type of dynamic where people are trying to pit me against someone else and I work with them. So, Josh, we could have done that.
Allie, anything to say about Mike and Casey?
Oh my God, I absolutely adored watching their dynamic and their conversations and everything. And I was just so excited because obviously they haven't really had any good chances to really work together until this. So I was just really excited.
What could have been in the experiment? What could have been? What could have been?
That was another thing that was very interesting to watch play out, having seen both of them play games before and the way it all panned out. But yeah, that is duo of the season for sure. We move on now to biggest rivalry in the game. A lot of contenders here. I think there were a lot of people who were very much going at it in this game. Like I said, this game was just absolutely cracked. You guys were just constantly going after each other, and it was really fun to watch. But there was one rivalry that I think personally we were the most invested in, and we were very excited to see how this rivalry was going to play out, who was going to end up getting the upper hand in this rivalry. and we did decide it ends up going to Josh and Cam. So Josh and Cam, pretty much, I feel like from round 2 of this game, we're just gun-ho for each other. Josh would constantly, be in his prod chat, like, why is Cam doing this? Why is Cam doing that? Meanwhile, Cam is constantly saying, like, I need Josh out, like, ASAP. And Josh ends up voting for Cam, like, the second round of the game. Yep. But yet these two continue to potentially, sort of work together, but in reality, we're plotting each other's demise. It was just so fun to watch. And we constantly were like, who is going to get the upper hand here? Like, is Josh going to be able to take out Cam? Is Cam going to be able to take out Josh? There was a point where Cam and Josh were in this, what was it? Oh, Canada motherfuckers, I think it was called.
Oh, Canada motherfuckers.
That's what it was called. Yeah.
Literally on the call that like Cam was on, Josh was like, Cam is trying to mirror me right now and do all this stuff. And we were just like, oh my God, this rivalry is just so fun
entertaining to watch.
Yeah, it really was very entertaining to watch. And I think overall, for me, this was the most interesting rivalry of the season. And I think the thing especially that makes this such a just legendary rivalry is that Cam goes out by Josh playing a vote on a vote that he thought was Josh going. And that's basically what caused his demise. So yeah, Cam and Josh for sure are
only they were a second here. Safety without power play.
Mike, I will literally throw you out a window.
Do it.
That might be murder.
Yes.
On the 10th floor here. Can we like move down a few floors first?
No.
All right.
Yes. So Cam and Josh do get biggest rivalry here. We're gonna move on now to the robbed pre-jur. And I will just say right now, there were a lot of contenders for this. One of the ones that wasn't here was Lauren. I think she was definitely a really big casualty, especially because people kept talking about that vote throughout so many rounds of the season. It was insane. We were like, this vote happened like round 5, and we're at like round 9, and you guys are still going on about the Lauren vote. So
I'm just like, oh my God, this was like forever ago.
Yeah, that was very fun to watch. Brian, I think, was definitely a robbed pre-jur, but we'll get into why in a little bit later because there's definitely some stuff to say about Brian for sure.
Brian?
So was the legacy advantage real?
We'll get into that in a little bit. We do have 3 nominees here for robbed pre-jur. We do have Divi, Victoria, Danny, and Victoria. All 3 of them, I think, were kind of ended up in the same way where they were just kind of on the wrong tribe at the wrong time. And there were people there that wanted them out as targets and ended up going for them because of it. But the person that I think easily was the most robbed out of the 3, it's Victoria. So Victoria, here's the thing. Victoria was playing a game that I think a lot of people just weren't really aware of. Yes, starting off in the game, Victoria was very quiet. Victoria was someone that was just kind of being very nice, very social, but when you crossed Victoria, she did not forget about it. And that was the thing that absolutely, I think, would have gotten Victoria very far within this game. When Divi votes Victoria out or Josh votes Victoria out on the Lauren round, Victoria now sees this as like, this is my main goal is to get both of them out. And that's exactly what she wanted to do. She very much orchestrated Divi's demise, and she was trying to orchestrate Josh's. It just didn't quite work out in the way that she hoped. But I do think that what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just gonna say, seeing her, because I thought she was just gonna be the sweet, quiet girl.
Yeah.
And, at the beginning, and then she just had this spark and this fire in her, which I'm just oh my God, this girl came to play. It was iconic.
Oh, yeah. I do think had Victoria gotten past the round that she did, I think she honestly makes a much deeper run in the merge than people were expecting because, like I said, Victoria was someone who was very vocal about what she wanted, and I think she could have gotten very far because of it. She had a pretty solid 3 with Austin and Caitlyn. They could have absolutely gone really far. She had a really, of course, she had sort of a duo, even if it wasn't as close of a duo as she hoped with Cam. I think that definitely could have potentially gotten her far in the game. So yeah, just Victoria in general, I think was just so great to watch. I was not expecting for her to play the way that she did, and I think she absolutely ended up killing this game. So Victoria, without a doubt, is our Rob Preacher for sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Was everybody working with Caitlin and Austin? Because this is what it sounds like.
Basically, yes.
Not
Basically, yes.
Caitlin. Not Caitlin.
I trusted Caitlin.
Well, the thing is with Caitlin and Austin is that was such a tight duo that like anything that Austin was doing, Caitlin was aware of. So in many ways, like most of you were working with Caitlin and Austin, didn't even realize it. So yeah. All right, so now we move on to our Rob Juror, and I will be honest, usually we would have nominees for this, but the majority of the people in this game that end up going out, I don't necessarily think were robbed. I think ended up going out mostly because of their own mistakes, but there is one person I think that definitely does deserve Rob Juror here, which is interesting because we already talked about this person for worst move, but yeah, it is indeed Cam. And here's the thing. You would say, how was Cam Rob Juror? Cam ended up playing a safety without power on Aaliyah and got voted out because of it. But I think if Cam doesn't do that, I think Cam makes a very deep run in this game. Early on, there were so many people.
At least eighth.
There were so many people early on this game that wanted to work with Cam, that valued Cam, that saw Cam as somebody that they wanted to go far with. The amount of people that were upset when Cam ended up going, not to mention Cam leaves the game not just with a second safety without power, but also with a round reset advantage that could have potentially reset the entire round, and you guys would have gone to a completely different comp after, and the tribal would have halted. So yeah, Cam was in a very strong spot, I think, in this game. And I think if things had panned out differently and he didn't do what he did with Aaliyah, I think Cam could have gotten very far within this merge. And so for that, Cam is our Rob Juror.
What was the spare comp?
Oh, it was the word on Scramble that you guys did. That was going to be the spare comp. If Cam played his round reset. So yeah, Cam is our Rob Juror.
Anyway. So
I did not see that one coming. I honestly did not see that one coming.
Yeah, well,
I was gutted.
Deserve this.
Very much deserving. Very much deserving. All right. Well, we move on now to Best Prod Chat. This was something that we decided to implement because so many of you guys just had such crack prod chats this season. We loved cracking up watching them. So many people I thought had so many just funny moments throughout the season. We had to throw this in there because of it. So we do have Divi, Mike, and Aaliyah. Oh, Cam and Aaliyah. We actually have 4 nominees for this because there were so many fun prod chats.
They were all so good.
Yeah, they were all just really fun to watch, but without question, Best Prod Chat. Oh, why is it not going away? Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, it goes to Aaliyah. Aaliyah coming into this game in her interview was like, guys, be prepared. My prod chat, it's going to blow up constantly. You guys aren't prepared for how active I'm going to be within my prod chat and whatnot. And literally, I think... And literally, I would be on a break at work. I would see like 99 notifications on Skype. Most of the time, they were from Aaliyah's prod chat. Aaliyah talking about what she's going to do in this round, constantly being paranoid of, if she was getting played or not. It was so fun to watch. I loved watching Aaliyah's prod chat throughout the entire season. Very unpredictable to see what she was really going to do. Was playing a game where it was honestly hard to tell who she was really aligned with, and her prod chat definitely made that pretty clear on what she was doing. So yeah, for sure, Aaliyah's best prod chat for sure. Also love the prod guests in there too. Very fun to watch.
Yeah, they were so good.
Yes, best prod chat. Definitely.
It was like a big party in my prod chat, like Grace Yance would come in, and Timmy and I, I'll tell you a little bit. Timmy and I used to idol hunt together every day. So he'd at me and he'd be like, or I would at Kevin and Allie and be like, can I go idol hunting? And then Timmy would just pop up and be like, can we go idol hunting. So thank you guys for letting me blow up my prod chat.
That was the other thing. The way you were just constantly just like relentless about the idol hunt, even when you knew everything was gone, you just wanted to see what was in every single spot. I just thought was so funny. I'm like, oh my God, what is she looking for now? And yeah, so yeah, Aaliyah definitely gets best prod chat here. We move on now to social player of social player of the season.
There it is.
Well, I spoiled that one. This one also goes, I think, to Aaliyah. Yeah, Aaliyah, the way you played this game, I thought was just really impressive to watch. You put yourself in a position where people just generally felt really good with you, and it got you to a point in the game where, yes, there were points you were targeted, but you always had somebody that didn't want to go for you. And I think it's due to how well you played this game socially that got you really far. The fact that you came into a game knowing absolutely nobody and ended up winning, I think that alone speaks volumes as to why you get social player of the season here. Yeah, just in general, very impressed by your social game this season. I think there were a lot of strong moments throughout the game, and was very like, there was definitely a point in the game where I was like, Aaliyah could literally just work with everybody here, and she could absolutely just dominates. And yeah, I mean, I think you really killed this game from a social perspective. So yeah, Aaliyah definitely social player of the season.
I think like she was just really good at getting the target off of herself. Like,
yes, for sure. Yeah, so Aaliyah does get social player of the season here. We move on to strategic player of the season. There was a lot of great strategy throughout this entire season. I think that there were a lot of potential contenders here, a lot of interesting ideas, a lot of interesting vote plans. And there were a lot of, I think, contenders that could have gotten this. But for me, easily strategic player of the season goes to Casey. Look, coming into this game, I've seen, I've played with Casey. I've seen Casey play before. I knew one of the things coming into this game that would be very exciting to watch is just how does Casey's mind work? How is she able to concoct the plans that she does? And just seeing her being able to pull off what she was, how she was constantly thinking ahead, constantly thinking about, certain vote counts, why people said what they said, looking at people's gestures on Zoom, and that being an indicator of her playing her idol. Just in general, was so impressed by Casey from a strategic level. I think that you just have such an interesting mind when it comes to these games, the way you're always thinking ahead, the way you're always thinking about what to do in every single round was just amazing to watch. And so absolutely Casey gets strategic player of the season here. Anything you want to say, Ali?
Oh, yeah. I was just like very excited to see her from like a prod perspective, and like she's so good, honestly. Like there's no one better to get like this award, because like she's just so smart. Like her reads were like always so good.
Oh my God, being on call with Casey,
like how does she do it?
Her pinpointing every little detail to me on call right after tribal every time we went to tribal. I'm like, I'm just sitting here in awe, like how do you, oh my God, this is so good.
Yeah, Casey had such a good read on things, and that's definitely what got her significantly as far as she could get in the game.
I'm a psycho. Sure. That's why I look at everything. I can't not look at people. I judge everything.
No, you're
observant. You have to ask questions. Yes.
Definitely, it's always fun to watch. So strategic player of the season absolutely goes to Casey. Okay, we move on now to physical player of the season. I don't think this one's up for debate. 5 immunity wins. Come on now. It's Sam. I don't know how you did it. Generally, I do not know how you were able to win 5 immunity challenges this season, but you did it. You beat Julia's record. We didn't think it was going to happen because Julia also dominated the merge, and you did it just a season later. So yeah, physical player of the season, Sam. Absolutely.
I think I was very fortunate with the fact that you had all your physical and dexterity type comps pre-merge, and then all your mental ones were in the merge, and that's where I tend to do well. But I was as shocked as you guys were, but no, thank you.
Well, you did it, King. You did it, King. You should be very proud of yourself for that. Physical player of the season definitely goes to Sam. All right, so we move on now to the most surprising. These were the people that in the game we felt were going to play a certain way, and then they played completely differently from how we expected. And that's what this award really boils down to. So we have Jacob, we have Victoria, and we have Caitlin. I think all three of them played really surprising games. Jacob coming in, not expecting to have that underdog sort of arc, but I think really perfecting that very well throughout this game, getting into a position where people felt that you were a legitimate threat to win because of the fact that you were able to align yourself socially in that way. I think Jacob definitely most surprising for sure. Caitlin was not expecting to see her be as just social and active as she was just really great to watch throughout the game, especially because she started off just a little bit more on the quieter side. But as we talked about before, absolutely most surprised. Oh, I guess I didn't click for this one, but it's Victoria. Victoria does get most surprising here. I think Victoria, once again, just was never expecting her to play the kind of game that she was. I was expecting her to come into this game, just be really nice to everybody and not really being able to see the game in front of her, but she absolutely did. And she played such a cutthroat game in that way. And we were just never expecting her to play that way. And for me, that's why Victoria is the most surprising for sure.
Yeah, I was so proud of her this game. And I mean, all of these three people, I did not know how they were going to play. I just thought they were just going to, like, Victoria and Caitlin, I didn't know if they're just going to be like the nice girls kind of thing, but they like really surprised me a lot, and especially Victoria for sure. Like, wow. And then Jacob was just incredible, had this amazing underdog story.
Yeah, all three of these players were just really great to watch. And we hope we continue to play orgs for a long time, because we haven't really seen any of them play before. We know they've played other games, but like really hope you guys branch out and end up playing more games, because all three of you were really, really great to watch. So yeah, that is most surprising. We do move on now to the favorites. We start off here.
Big? Why is this so big?
It's basically just so it fits the
Kevin's favorite.
all of them are just as big. But we're gonna start off with my favorite. So my favorite should not come as a big surprise to a lot of people. When this person applied for the game, I was just so ecstatic to get the chance to host them. Hearing in their interview constantly about, how they've played games and really have just evolved as a player to where now they're just generally enjoying it, not fixating as much on trying to win, but more just so trying to have fun within the game, but also still playing just as hard as they always do. And then also just seeing them come into the game and how they were able to play really was just everything that I was hoping for. This is someone that I always get really excited to see them in games. I always get excited to interact with them, whether from a player perspective, from a playing perspective, but now also a hosting perspective. Absolutely my favorite. It goes to Casey. Casey, listen, I've said it many times before. You're one of my favorite people to work with, and that translates to hosting. It was just so great to watch you in this game. Just absolutely dominate. Be in a position at the merge where you felt like you weren't in the greatest spot, and then put yourself in that position. Getting the information you needed was just, it was so great to watch. I loved seeing you just call people out on their shit, not being afraid to just go to people being like, hey, so I heard you said my name, just being so straight up in that way. It was just incredible to watch. Everything that I was hoping for when it comes to Casey. So absolutely, Casey is my favorite player this season.
Oh, Kevin, you're my fave. I think Kevin, we played my first Skype Survivor game or whatever ever to hear. So thank you. You're my bestie.
Yes. We love Casey so much. But let's move on to Allie's favorite. So Allie, go ahead.
All right. I mean, this was so hard because this cast was so good, and obviously other people everyone else on Prod chose the other people I wanted, or a couple of them I wanted. So I was torn between two, but then because someone else wanted this person, I had to go with Victoria. I love her.
Yes. I mean, I feel like we've said all we needed to, but what do you want to say about Victoria?
Oh my God. Like, I got her to play her first Skype game because I met her through like the Twitter community, and so I got her to play this because she was also our alt last season, right? Yeah.
Yes, she was.
Last season, we just thought she wouldn't really fit in with that cast. So we thought this season would be way better for her. And she reapplied and did so good with her interview. And like, she killed that one for sure. Like, she really came back and she just had this fire in her. And like, she really came to play. She was honestly like very strategic. In her prod chat, she was always like talking about like, oh yeah, this person needs to go and all that kind of stuff. She had a lot of confessional videos, and just watching her game was so good. Like, she could have killed it if she made it past 12th. Obviously that was just really like, she was just put on the wrong tribe. But
yeah, it's really hard to get back past 12, trust me.
But yeah, I was so proud of her because she's just like so sweet, and like she killed it for sure.
Definitely. Unfortunately, our other prod members aren't really here to speak on their other host favorites, but we're going to go ahead. Karen's favorite is Cam, which should not come to a surprise. Yeah, Karen's one of the big reasons we really get Cam on this cast, and Cam definitely lived up to our expectations. So yes. Also, fun moment with Cam, I will definitely say. Having him in that first exile, watching characters was just iconic. It was just amazing to watch. Seeing how all that went down was a very fun moment. So I did want to throw that out there. We go to Hudson's favorite. Hudson's favorite is Austin, which we already talked about how iconic Austin was in this game. Very much the villain we were all hoping for. Maybe not all of you, but Timmy's here. Okay, so Timmy can actually speak on his favorite as he comes in here. Oh my God, Timmy!
Hey, King.
Oh my God, Timmy! Great timing. We're on your favorite.
Oh my God! Who won?
Aaliyah won.
Yep.
Oh my God. Funny how that all works.
You want to speak a little bit about your favorite player?
Oh, sorry. I literally just got out of work. That's so embarrassing. Well, hi. My name's Timmy. This is my only season on the prod team. It has been nothing short of a pleasure having you all here, but I do have to pick a favorite. Sorry to the other 20 losers, but we only have one in this game, and she's also my favorite. Aaliyah, Queen, my favorite. Love you.
Yes.
Oh my God, I love you too, Timmy. Timmy, I was telling them how we idol hunted together, and I would be like, "Can I go idol hunting?" And you'd be like, we."
We are going idol hunting.
You were also my favorite prod.
It was so good.
I could literally sob
Don't
it.
tell Kevin and Allie.
I would never.
Yeah, we were not surprised by this. I mean, the amount of times I was like, Timmy, where should I pick idol hunting? It was pretty obvious. I feel like that Timmy was going to give this to Aaliyah. So yes, that is Timmy's favorite. We move on now to Julia's favorite of the season, which her favorite of the season is Mike. So let's talk about Mike a little bit. One more thing I did want to say about Mike that I didn't get to say in Hero of the Season, just seeing you in this game finally get that opportunity to make merge after saying for so long that like you're never going to merge, that alone I think is a big reason why all of us in the prod chat were like, okay, Mike has to definitely get one of our host favorites for sure, and Julia was the one who ended up picking it.
Fuck a merge. This is better. This is better than merging. Fuck this.
Yeah, so that is Julia's favorite. Those are all of our favorites. Let's go ahead and move on to our last award here, and that's our player of the season. I feel like there were a lot of contenders for this award. The end game itself, I think, was just really strong in this game. Very unpredictable with the way things ended up playing out. Really was not able to tell how things were going to go, but ultimately, I think by the time the game ended, there was one player that just really stuck out as like, this is the player that absolutely, I think, could have and would have won the game. if they were able to get to those final 3 seats.
Mhm.
Our player of the season is Casey. Yeah, so once again, we'll get into this right now. Casey, I think your arc in this game is so interesting because you come into the pre-merge and, you know, you've said it yourself, you weren't the most active and things like that. You were around for votes and things like that, but you got to the merge. And, yeah, you were kind of out of the loop as to what was going on, but then you put yourself in a better position. And it was just incredible to watch the way that you dominate, especially the live night and things like that, you know, playing that idol, putting yourself in this prime position. I have no doubt if you would have been in those final 3 seats, you absolutely would have won this game. Was just so impressed by how you played all around. Like I said, hosting you was basically everything we could have imagined, and just getting to everything we could have hoped for, and just getting to see the game that you played this season. There was no doubt in my mind that Casey absolutely deserved player of the season. So yes, congrats on that. And congrats to everyone for their awards this season.
And then we have one more little thing, because since this cast was so strong and so good and iconic, we decided to do a fan fave poll.
Yes, this was a really strong cast. We did do a
Why is that this photo? Why not this?
But Ali, you want to reveal the results of this fan favorite poll? It was a very close race, by the way.
Yeah. We had 31 responses. It wasn't like super high of a score, but like with 6, Casey is our fan fave.
Yes, Casey did get fan favorite for the season, player of the season.
I'm not a villain, bitches. I'm nice.
It's true.
Definitely. All right. Well, now that concludes our awards. So now we're going to get into some fun stuff. Let's talk about some of the powers within this game, some of the things that didn't get to happen within this game that would have been fun. So I'm sure you guys figured out there was a 3rd backstage pass on Rico's Surf Shop that was never found. Would have been fun to see what would have happened.
Also, Divi also had a torn between 2 Hannahs, but since they obviously left, that one wasn't like a huge power. It went back in, so nobody refound it.
Yeah, nobody ended up.
Where was the thing on Rico's?
So the Rico's one, I don't remember where
backstage
it was.
pass.
Back into the idol search.
I think it was like the purple drink, I believe.
Something like that. It was like, it was huge. Huge idol search.
Yeah, it was a really crazy idol search, which we're very proud of how that turned out. But yeah, so that was never found. We did talk about Torn Between 2 Hannahs, how Victoria was the person who played the other one on Aaliyah and Austin, which I think put her in a very strong position. But it all comes down to the legacy idol. And I guess what I want to do here is go ahead and raise your hand if you at any point in this game had a legacy idol, had a legacy advantage of any
Because it
kind.
was fake, and Brian is a liar, and I fucking clocked that shit early.
Yes, you are very much correct. The legacy advantage was absolutely a farce. Brian in this game was a whole other character. I mean, the amount of lies that Brian told, basically just to have fun.
Yeah, we thought.
I want to say I knew that was bullshit right from Final 13 because it was playable at 13 and he was going. Why the fuck would you not play that? Why would you go home with that in your pocket?
It made no sense.
It was so fun to watch all of you throughout the season be so paranoid about, oh my God, does this person have the legacy advantage? Are they going to play the legacy advantage here? Oh my God, we're getting to Final 7. Is somebody going to play a legacy advantage? Only for it to just not even be a thing.
Aaliyah still has it, I think.
I did not have it. I did not have it. And like, even if Josh had it, I did not think he would give it to me. But like, I low-key, like, gave him the idol and bounced in case he did have it and gave it to me. I'm not gonna say it, but I didn't have it. And they were, and like, I was hearing that like people were gonna bring me to 6, and I'm like, why? Like, just like, I don't have it. Like, why?
That's what Sam said to me. He was like, yeah, we can take Aaliyah out at 6. I'm like, why don't we take her out at 8? It's like right now.
Oh,
Yeah,
goodness me.
so the legacy advantage was a complete utter lie. Also a lie, of course, was the podcast lie, everything that went on there. And Brian
So
also
funny.
being the one to really push the
funny.
mic is spreading Casey's idol thing that happened. Yeah, that was very much Brian trying to put the
So
target
how
on
did
you.
Brian find out about it? Because it's either maybe
I'm
Josh.
pretty sure it was I think Josh ended up telling him because him and Josh were very close. So
Well,
It was-
Josh got his
it
karma. It's fine.
It was me. I'm the one who told you had an idol, remember? I leaked it to everybody.
yes, so those are some things that were just really fun that we've been holding very. Anytime you guys said something about the legacy advantage, you have no idea how much I just wanted to scream out and be like, it doesn't exist. What are you doing? But like obviously I couldn't do that. But now the season is over, I can fully confirm legacy advantage did not exist. That was never a thing in this game. Nor did I even understand what it was when he first said it, and I still don't understand what it is to this day. So yeah,
Legacy advantage?
I don't really understand how it works, but I'd have to look into that.
It works the same way as an idol, but you can only play it at like 13 or 6. But
Gotcha.
if you're voted out with it at any other point in time, you have to will it to another player in the game. That's what makes it a legacy.
Yep.
Game changers, Sarah Lucina notoriously voted out Sierra Dawn Thomas, who had it because Sierra told her she would give it to her if voted out. So Sarah voted her out just to take it.
Gotcha. All right. Well, if there's anything else you guys want to talk about, it's now open forum. If there's anything else you guys want to discuss within the season.
I just want to give a shout out to Jessie really quick because this was not touched upon, but she currently has the record for the most days played in the Applause history.
Yes. Jesse does hold the record for the most days. Also, we want to give a shout out to all of our returnees, all of whom did surpass their placements, even if it was by one
By
place.
one, except for Jessie.
So funny for some of them.
Except for
Yes.
Jessie.
Okay.
And you're welcome for that because I was no way I was letting that happen.
Yes, definitely.
That was my microphone, baby.
Yeah, all around, just really strong games from all of you. I know I said it at the top, but I'm going to say it again. Allie and I came into this game after how last season went and just said, all we really want to do is just host a season that people are generally going to enjoy, that can be really fun, really cracked, and can be something that people will just really enjoy, can be a nice redemption from how last season turned out. And I'm happy to say that's exactly, I think, how this season turned out. You all were so much fun to host. We were so unsure of how every round was going to go. You guys made every round so fucking cracked. Very few unanimous votes this season, which was so fun to watch. So many thrown votes, which, by the way, get ready for the voting chart. There's some interesting votes in there that I don't think you guys will expect.
So iconic.
But
Who you got something to own up to? I'm just saying.
But yes, all around, just thank you guys for making this season exactly what we were hoping for. When Allie and I originally came up with a conceit of Applause, I think this is very much what we were hoping this game would be. And we are just very happy with how everything ended up turning out, with how all of you guys played. Just thank you all around. It was just a really fun experience to watch. And for those of you who haven't played a lot of games in this community, we hope you're able to continue doing so, because I think everybody in this cast absolutely showed how strong of a player that they are. I don't think, especially once we got to the merge, I think everybody just really played their ass off, and it was just really fun to watch the entire way through. So many big characters throughout the season, really just everything we could have hoped for. So once again, just thank you guys for playing. It was a really great experience.
Thank you so much. It was like, we were like excited for the finale, but we were also
Mhm.
sad for it to end just because it was so good. And like,
Yeah.
I loved the twist, and I just loved everything about the season. And you guys were just like a dream of a cast.
Oh yeah. We do want to give a special shout out though to our other prod members, Timmy, Karen, Julia, and Hudson. Truly, like, we couldn't have done any of what we did this season without you guys. And like, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. This season went way better than last time. And a lot of it is because of just how you guys were able to play, how you guys were able to, help us, and all the things you were able to implement, things that I never even thought about. And there's so much that we just simply would not have been able to do without the help of you guys. So thank you guys for that. But yeah, with that said, been a really great season. Hope you guys had a really great time playing. I think there's one more thing we need to do, Ali, before we do wrap this up here. We do want to give you guys a little sneak peek of what's
the season
Holy
3.
Prescott there.
Yes. Yes. We love our after show hosts as well. Sean, Aston, Seb, Grace, Jill, all of you guys were amazing this season. Was very happy with how after show turned out. So very happy with how you guys end up running it. But yeah, with that said, I think there's one more thing we need to go ahead and do. And Ali, if you want to go ahead and pull it up.
We don't have the video yet.
We don't have a video, but we do have a theme reveal.
Do you want to? Oh yeah, you
It's me. I'm the theme.
We will definitely post a little sneak peek video when it's made.
Yeah, we didn't have time to do it, but we will post the graphic right now if you want to pull it up.
I don't have. Where is it?
It's in that chat.
Oh right. Okay.
Yeah, that somebody just bumped.
Okay.
I think it went with the legacy advantage.
Also, yeah, shout out to Sean for this graphic. Yeah, next season, we're going back in time to the 90s for Retro World. It's going to be a really fun time. It's 90s themed. We're very excited to see how this season ends up going. And for those who haven't played, we hope to see your apps out there. It's going to be a really fun season, I think. Way less cracked than this one was. Way more back. It's very much more of a back to basics season.
Yeah, we're going back to basics with this, so it's not going to be as intense.
Yes. Oh my God, Cody's here. But yes, once again, just thank you guys for playing. We hope you had just a really great time. And with that, I think we can go ahead and cut the stream, Ali. But if you guys have anything else you want to say before we wrap this up, obviously you can stick around after the Zoom. But I think this is where we're going to end the recording.
I hold in my hand the greatest piece of 90s memorabilia right here. Right here. Banjo-Kazooie.
Best game ever.
Greatest game, greatest console of all time, period. Let's go 90s.
Yes, also, definitely. We hope to see all the new apps because it's a newbie season.
Yeah, this season really smells like Teen Spirit already.
All right. Well, with that, like I said, we hope you guys had a great time playing. Congratulations again to Aaliyah, but also congratulations to Jacob and Sam for both being in the final 3 as well. This was just a really strong cast to watch, and we're very happy with how this season played out. And we will see you guys next season. Have a great